What's up, guys? Six Borough Podcast is brought to you by Municipal Land Survey, 631-345-2658. If you need your property line mapped out, these are the people to give a call to. We're also brought to you by AS Engineering Services, 631-560-0259. And on the internet at www.asengineeringservices.com for all your residential and commercial engineering needs. We're also brought to you by Made to Thrive, an American t-shirt company. You can find them on the internet at www.madetothrive.us and on Instagram at madetothrive.us. Today's guest is my friend Steve Zarzana. He is a tattoo artist at Lotus Tattoo in Sayville. He is also a super dad of two awesome little boys. You can find him on Instagram at SteveZaza_LT, I believe. If I'm wrong, I think we talk about it again in the episode, and you can check our Instagram for his proper tag. Steve's an all-around good dude, but more than anything else, he's a great dad and a great tattoo artist, and we talk about the bulk of his love for his kids, and I think it shines through in this podcast about how good of a dad he is and how passionate he is about it, so give it a listen.
Let's get it going.
All right, guys, let's get into it.
That's it.
We're live.
Just like that.
Yarbs.
Eric Gott.
Skanga.
D-Rock and our guest,
Steve Zaza.
Steve Zarzana, Steve
Zarzana,
Zaza,
whatever you guys
whatever you
wanna
want to
say.
call him. Infamous Steve Zarzana, Lotus Tattoo. Vespa riding,
Well, used to.
ink drawing,
Yes.
handsome son of a bitch.
That is true. All of those.
And fertile son of a bitch.
Yes. Fortunately and unfortunately.
And all you do is make boys.
I know, really gorgeous ones with beautiful blue eyes like you. You got beautiful blue eyes.
You know slouch yourself. You know?
Oh, are we up? You got blue? I can't tell.
I don't know.
All of us.
I was agreed.
You're fucking crazy. They're blue. They're going with blue. Don't ruin it for us.
That means we're all related, too.
We're having a moment.
5 guys with blue eyes. It's nice.
That might be the new name of the podcast.
You're welcome.
5 Guys with Blue Eyes Podcast. Yeah. All right, Six Borough Podcast is gone.
Somebody
Great band name.
somebody showed me a study probably about 10 years ago about men, or not men, people with blue eyes. We supposedly have
common ancestor.
higher pain tolerance and the common ancestor.
This was not 10 years ago. This was about last summer, and it was me.
Fuck, I'm related to you then?
Yeah, dude, it was me, you, and Keith.
Well,
Remember?
the pain tolerance thing, I have the worst pain tolerance.
Okay, so that's not fact.
You're
we're-
covered in tattoos. You can't have that bad of pain
No.
tolerance.
It's the worst.
Some
Yeah,
pain
but
is
you
worth
dealt
looking
with
cool.
In certain ways.
Okay, well, still, either way.
I got them, but
You
yeah.
got it done.
Yeah. I did it somehow.
Well, whatever. You tolerated it.
I guess.
Whether you had
It's
assistance or
called
not.
time travel, and I just go to sleep, and then I wake up like, oh, sick. My ribs are done. Let me go home.
Like you you Will Ferrell it in Old School where he blacks out. He's like, what happened?
What happened?
Real talking about pain, this is a good one. I saved this. So I get home last night from work, and my dad and brother are watching the final NBA, not the finals, but Game 7, and my brother was drinking and got drunk, and I'm already annoyed at him right off the bat because he's so drunk, it's annoying. And he has one of those the things you put on your muscles, right? It's like an electric
Oh, the
shock
stim
thing.
pads.
Yeah, tens.
The stim or
So I try to take advantage of him being drunk, and I'm like, yo, let's put it on your balls from Jackets. Remember when they put it on the guy's gooch, and they were like, yo, whatever. So I was like, yo,
Gooch.
you know what I'm talking about, remember? And he put it
I
on
haven't
the
heard
gooch.
that term in forever, though.
So I was like, yo, put it on your balls. He was like, why don't you put it on your balls, tattoo guy? Like, being, like, super, like, drunk idiot, like, dick, younger brother. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm like, it's me, my dad, my brother. So I take my fucking balls out. He puts it on there, and he turns it on. And it's like, at first, it's just, like, a little bit of, like, a vibrating. It's not bad.
Like, it's a little nice.
At first, it kind of burned. And then it started to feel like, I don't want to say nice in a sexual way, but it didn't hurt. It didn't feel
I've
like,
tried those things and they do burn you sometimes.
yes.
Like if they don't have the jelly on them.
yeah,
right?
you have to get it. Well, at first, that's what the problem was. You're 100% right.
I couldn't imagine it on my balls. I'm talking about like my neck burning.
So I kind of like cuff him. So it was like really like on there. You know what I'm saying? So then he turns it up because he's like a drunk dick, and he turns it all the way up, and all of a sudden my testicles left. They went inside me. Like
Fire drill in the nuts.
Dude, they left. And I actually he took me here. He drove me here, and so I was telling him because he doesn't remember last night. So they like left. They crept up inside me. So then I'm like, now it's starting to hurt. So I like rip it off. And then my balls descended back into my sack, and he fucking hammer fisted me in my nuts as hard as he can. So I instantly swing out, like I wasn't even mad. I was just like, get away, and he puts his head down. I kind of just skim his forehead. So now I go into my apartment, and I'm like, I felt at the same time I had to throw up, pee, and shit. Can we curse on there?
Yeah, of course.
Right, I didn't know.
Do you not listen?
I do, but not really.
We curse all the time.
So I go into the bathroom. And I'm like standing there and I'm peeing, and all of a sudden I got that weird like the
Dizziness?
not dizzy, but like boom, boom,
Oh,
boom,
yeah.
and then stars, and I was like, oh shit. So I run into my bedroom and I lay down like, all right, let me give myself a minute. I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning, sneakers, pants, shirt, lights on. I think I fainted. It was the weirdest thing. Like, I've never in my life, like, I've been knocked out once from boxing, but I never, like...
Did you check your bed to make sure it wasn't pregnant after this?
It might have been. I looked at my dog. He's a guy. I felt his belly. I was like, you all right?
Could come home after futon.
Because you got to figure.
Not even futon. I have bunk beds. Yeah, no, seriously. I called my brother today at like 4 o'clock, like to check in on him. I'm like, yo, do you remember last night? He's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, awesome. I was like, you hit me so hard that I couldn't even get mad. I just got like dead. Like I fucking died. Like I died for a little bit. I was out cold.
I gotta figure one of two things happened. Either you were that much more fertile after this, or you got fixed.
I hope I got fixed, because I do not want to be any more fertile.
There's only one
I mean, the world does need a couple more gorgeous blue-eyed men.
it's true.
But
there's only one
I
way
don't
to
want
find out.
I'm taking
Scary
care
to get busy. And if you wake up tomorrow pregnant,
I don't want to take. I'm taking care too. I can't take any more gorgeous blue-eyed
Scary to take
men.
one for the team.
your son Benny is the coolest kid in the world.
Coolest dude in the world. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I haven't met Lincoln as much. I only met really Benny. And Benny, I love that dude.
Benny's
He's awesome.
a special person. I'll tell you right now. He's
What's
very
his names?
Benjamin
his kid.
Carter and Lincoln Cash.
He brought him over to the beach over the summer.
Yeah, Benny. What I do with Benny is I kind of, I spend 3.5 days a week with them, and I kind of Lincoln last summer was a baby, like he was still kind of an infant. So this summer Lincoln's gonna be chilling, like he's gonna come over with us and stuff. But when we wake up in the morning, I ask Benny, "What do you want to do today?" Because it ain't about me; it's about him.
Oh, that's awesome.
So and he'll say, "Daddy, I want to go on the boat." I don't own a boat, so I say, let's go on the ferry. So go on the ferry, we go see D-Rock, we hang out, go to the water, he catches, what are they, I don't know, I have pictures in my phone, I don't know what they're called, I don't want to say crabs,
Oh,
because I don't want him to
like
say
the
he
ones you, like,
catches
dig-
crabs.
the dig-
Yeah, those
you
little
dig
weird
and-
things you,
I know what you're. I don't know what they're called. I know what you're talking about though.
I don't know what they are,
Yeah, like
I'm not a
sand
beach
crabs or
guy,
something, yeah.
I'm a very white, tattooed guy, so I try to stay out of the sun.
White tattoo guys go to the beach.
Yeah, I don't ruin mine. I spend too much money.
Mine
I don't know what they're called.
So
Mine
that
hold
does
up
ruin
okay.
tattoos. If you spend a lot of time in the sun, it'll ruin the tattoo.
I guess.
Well, it ruins your skin, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna guess
I mean-
that the ink on your skin is
Yeah.
also going to get ruined.
I'm just really fair skin. Like my mom is like a white freckled lady, so my dad gets like a black guy. in the
What
sun.
are you though? Zarzana? That's Italian, no?
My dad's 100% Italian. My mom is Irish and Portuguese. But my mom looks like
Portuguese. Nice.
my mom is pale as that board right there.
Right.
White. She's white.
That's like me. My dad's like as ginzo as it gets, and my mom's like from like northern Italy, like fair skinned, and I got like the fair skin complexion from my mom. That's why like if me and my dad are standing together, I don't look like my dad at all. My dad's brown eyes, typical Guinea, and then you look at me, it's like, where the hell did you come from?
Well, what's weird is my mom and dad both have blue eyes, And my grandmother, my dad's grandmother, call her Nanny, she was born in Italy, and she has blue eyes, blonde hair.
Well, that's
super weird.
That's what Italians were until the Moors conquered Sicily, and that's when the whole dark skin thing came.
My cousin, I have a second or third cousin, Pete, and he actually came over. He's never met my kids, and he came over on Sunday, and we all went out to lunch together, and he did one of those swabs where they, like, whatever his girlfriend bought it for him.
Face swab, yeah.
And he turns out, like, he's 100% Italian. Italian kid, this and that. But same last name as me. And turns out he's only 16% Italian. But he's, like, North African.
No, he should register as a minority.
I'm sorry?
He can start like a minority-owned firm and get like preferential treatment and government contracts for that. Like I know a whole bunch of people.
That happens a lot.
I know a whole bunch of white guys that go get genetically tested to try to prove that they are 1% some type of minority, and then that's what they are. They're a minority-owned firm, and they get preferential government contracts. It's like a big thing in the construction industry right now.
He's a painter. He paints houses. Maybe he can get... Yeah, he was... No, it was no Indian. It was like Northern African... some sort of Asian, Chinese. I don't want to sound politically incorrect, but
if you could only be
PC.
All right, well, whatever. I mean, he was telling me, and I was paying attention, but like I didn't understand what he was saying, sort of, because he said so many different things. As a guy, it's 100% Italian, then all of a sudden you're 16%.
Yeah, he must
it's
have been
weird.
devastated.
Yeah. So
My whole life's a lie.
Yeah, so I told my dad, I was like, Pete, was saying this and that. My dad was like, I'm 100%. I'm like, no. I was like, if you were from Sicily, you're not 100%, because it's an island.
Yeah, you're probably more Egyptian
African,
or North African.
The Moors are from Africa.
Yeah.
Yep. I've never met your cousin or anything, but I'm picturing like someone from the Jersey Shore with the blowout.
No.
And then he finds out he's 16%. And he's like, he's got his hair done all different today, and like took the chain off.
Stops listening to house music.
Yeah. That's what I'm picturing.
He's
He's
actually
cornrows.
completely normal. Like, he actually kind of looks like me, which is weird because we're, not
Handsome.
Well, we are handsome as well, but he's got the same eyes as me. Like, he actually, like, we look like cousins, but we're like second or third cousins. I'm not really sure how it works. My dad knows how it works. I don't even know. You just fall.
Yeah, there was
How did that happen?
That was a good
serious
catch.
issue there.
That was weird. Is there a ghost in here?
That's the second time you've almost fallen out
Yeah,
of
but
a chair.
the first time I was drinking a little bit. This time I was just happened to be like leaning back and lost my balance.
Trying to look cool in front of your friends. You can hurt yourself.
There's two things that are becoming constants with this. Eric almost falling out of his chair and killing bugs in every single episode that we do.
You got a lot of bugs in your house, Steve. So
Don't make this sound...
Come on, don't make your house sound gross.
It's the only time that we kill a bug at all during the week is
Isn't
during
here.
the podcast.
During the
Because
podcast.
it gets hot and we open the
open
door
the
and the
door,
screen's
yeah.
broken right now, so bugs get in.
The only bug you're allowed to kill in front of my son, well, there's two, an ant and a mosquito. Benny's a vegan. He doesn't like killing bugs.
You gotta tell him life's gonna be rough. Life's gonna be rough, man. Life's gonna be rough.
You gotta play, what's that movie from? Starship Troopers?
Oh yeah.
The only good bug's a dead bug.
Yo, I thought it. It's so crazy you say that. The other night we're sitting in bed and we're like flipping through Hulu or whatever, and I actually put the picture on Instagram. I'm like, yo, I was like, what do you want to watch? And the Jupiter. I don't know the actual Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah, Jupiter Ascending. Yeah.
Yeah, Lunchbox just watched it. He hated it.
Awful.
I honestly couldn't get
follow
through it.
it.
I got like super pumped about it at first. Like
Yeah,
there was
I thought it was gonna be
my son
cool.
likes dinosaurs and like aliens. Like he's into the same stuff like I'm into. I kind of made him get into by like talking about it so much. But
It's the best part about having a boy.
Yeah.
You just mold him into what you
and then
want.
like so I'm like watching it and he was asking so many questions and I'm like, dude, just watch the movie. I'm like, well, I'm watching it for the first time with you. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like we gotta watch it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I look over and they're both just snoring and I was like, fuck this movie. I turned it on, put on I think I put on Bill Maher. I was like, I'm done with this.
I had to power through it. It was one of the worst movies I've watched.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, at first it was cool. Like I
It's
like
cool
I like how like
action
the
and
gray aliens were like invisible
Yeah.
because I felt like that might be real.
Like there was some cool aspects to it, but I couldn't follow the story. And Mila Kunis like finds out she's like this princess or queen or something, and she owns the earth.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, don't even watch it.
It's
But
not
Mila-
worth it.
But she's just like, yeah, whatever.
But Mila
Like, just
Kunis
goes
is
about
in
it. All right,
so-
this is cool. Like, there's like
Yeah,
no
but her daughter,
context.
when her daughter got naked and like went into that water and got like rejuvenized or whatever you want to call it. She would look good. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that was-
shit.
that was cool.
Because she was like an old lady and then went in the water and came out like 20 years old again.
Yeah.
I fucking wish I could do that.
You get her pregnant like that.
Yeah. Just by watching it, I was like, I really
He was
hope she's
watching
not
the movie
pregnant.
that was pre-recorded and just got
You fast forward and all of a sudden she's
That's it.
pregnant.
I went to the end of the movie and she was like, this is yours.
You're in the credits. You're in the credits. Steve Zarzana's baby.
Damn it. Again.
You're waking your boys up, guys.
You got the sister you wanted.
So wait, did you say you were gonna watch? Were you gonna say that you were gonna watch Starship Troopers that night too? Or?
Because it was one of the options. I was like, oh,
Okay.
these are bugs. And then he was like, yeah, but that other movie has aliens and dinosaurs.
There's some
So he
good
was more
nudity in
into
Starship Troopers too.
Yeah.
There's some
that.
good nudity.
Yeah, that, like,
especially for the '90s.
well, I let, this is like a whole thing, like, kid, you, like, as a, you're a dad, right? You don't know what is cool, like, what you can show them or what you can't show them. So I pretty much let them, I watch whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? We do whatever. The only thing I don't let them watch is, like, sex. But, like, fighting and, you know, my son Lincoln is obsessed with watching boxing. Like, Benny will watch Paw Patrol or Bubble Guppy. So, like, one of those. If I need to do something, like, straighten up or clean or, like, cook, I put on a Mayweather fight, and the kid will sit there for an hour and watch the fight and won't get up.
How old is he?
Lincoln's a year, well, he'll be 2 in August. And that's the only thing. You know, his mom gets upset with me. I mean, you know, she's a girl. She don't know. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about her, but she's like, oh, you know, the kid, you know, Benny, Lincoln likes to fight too much. He hits this and that. I was like, well, he's a guy. Like, he's a boy. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't have a girl. I don't know how to. I have boys. I know what we like. You know.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't be fighting if I didn't grow up. If my dad didn't take me to see Bloodsport when I was 5 years old,
Yeah.
you know,
Great
I don't
movie.
think I'd be as into what I'm doing now because my dad was like you. He took me to see shit he wanted to see.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up watching all the movies that he wanted to grow up to go see. So I was 5 years old. My first movie ever in a movie theater was Bloodsport. You know, and like,
Which is amazing.
yeah, fucking best. It's still one of the best movies of all time. I don't care if it's fake.
See, I feel like it's like the kids have it like programmed into them.
Fake.
I mean, you could guide them. Like my family, neither my mom nor my dad was into fighting. I remember being a kid and my mom having conversations and me overhearing them like, "Oh, Eric's so violent. All he does is make the toys fight each other." And I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old.
G.I. Joe, bro. I
And
fucked us all up.
what are you going to do with G.I. Joe? What are you going to do with G.I. Joe?
Not gonna make a cake.
Superheroes fight
Yeah.
other superheroes.
And they chop. They chop for a reason. Yeah.
I don't know.
You're
So
not
like,
making cakes with G.I. Joes.
no, not at all. And my mom used to be like, "Oh, why are you so violent all the time?" And she wouldn't sign me up for karate when I was a kid. She like refused because she thought, "Oh, he's going to learn things. He's going to do them to other people," which she probably would have been right. So instead, I signed up for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I was a teenager. I got that out of my system in my teenage to early 20s instead of when I was like 6. But
Well, my dad was a huge, like, he's just like a huge sports guy all around.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not really into sports so much. Like, I played basketball, like, we played basketball
In Oregon
school.
all the
Yeah,
time,
we
yeah.
played basketball all the time. And, you know, then I got into boxing. But I remember the first UFC that came out. And I remember ordering Domino's, and my dad's friend Dave, who I don't even know whatever happened to him, but I remember him coming over, and I remember a weird distant cousin that randomly showed up at the house, this guy Vinny. And I remember watching the first UFC. I have that memory of watching the first UFC, and it's blowing my mind.
You want to laugh about that? I remember watching the first one too. My dad came to pick me up from open gym at South Ocean. You remember all those
I remember
gyms?
open
Yeah.
gyms. I went to every one of
Yeah,
those.
so
motherfuckers.
it was my dad picking me up from fucking open gym at South Ocean, and I came home. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna watch the fights." And we used to watch boxing, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, who's fighting?"
Tyson was, well, back then it was
Right.
Tyson.
I'm like, "Oh, who's boxing tonight?" He said, "It's not boxing. It's something else." And he explained to me what it was, and I remember being like, "What the fuck are we watching?"
Bro,
And
that fucking that sumo guy that got his teeth knocked
Oh,
out with that
yeah.
roundhouse. I'll never forget that shit. That was the most, that
Manuel
was the best
Yarbrough.
name
Yeah.
ever. I don't know that name.
it's Chris's cousin.
the guy that knocked his teeth out was this French kickboxer, Gerard Gordeau.
Yeah.
And he was like a particularly nasty bastard. Like,
Yeah.
if you were to like think of one term that would describe him, it would be bastard. He was like that guy that came out with his hands wrapped, and he he wanted to knock your teeth
He
out
was
and injure
all business.
you.
That fight. It was like
There was a thing about him, and I didn't know this back then, but I remember like reading about this fairly recently, in the last couple of years, about why, because he fought Hoist Gracie in the finals, and Hoist didn't let go of the choke right away. And it was because he was like a nasty prick.
Yeah.
He was like trying to gouge his eyes, and he had like already kind of come in with a reputation, I think, and I don't remember correctly.
He had
exactly.
he fought in Pentagon Combat, if I'm not mistaken, and apparently started a bunch of trouble there as well.
Yeah, it's like there was a little bit of history, so that's why Hoist
Yeah.
held that choke a little bit, because people thought Hoist Gracie was it, because in the video he's like tapping like frantically, like with both hands, and Hoist doesn't let go right away. And everybody kind of thought like Hoist was a dick for like not respecting the tap, but there was like history behind it for that guy being like
An asshole.
bastard.
But
that he
back
was.
back then, when it first started, the Gracies were the most boring shit in the world to watch because nobody knew
Nobody
what
knew.
you were watching. And now it's just like everybody knows what you're watching. But
Everybody knows jiu-jitsu, yeah.
the guy who I loved back then was Chemo, right? His name was Chemo.
Chemo almost beat.
He
Hoist.
almost beat. He beat the shit out of him. He did, but then Gracie just got him because he didn't know what he was doing on the ground.
If you, if they would
He
have
used to come out on the cross. Do you
Yeah,
remember
he used
that? What fucking came out?
Do you remember he beat
crazy.
He beat Hoist up so bad that Hoist couldn't continue with that. He
Yeah.
came out, he ran into the ring like the WWE and celebrated like he won.
That's another thing that blows my mind is that it was not just one fight. You fought like 3 times that night.
That shit was
Fucking
crazy.
They should do that again.
Fuck
No,
that.
people would be dead.
That's fucking.
Well,
Now-
they do
and
to
now
not-
every-
not
now the
that
caliber
level,
of
though.
athlete
They do
awesome.
in
They do it in kickboxing all the time for some reason. They do tournaments of kickboxing all the time.
no, it's
They
Was
used to
it
do
Bell-
it in Pancrase. They used to do it a lot.
was it Bellator that did it?
No,
So-
it was Ryzen.
Ryzen did it. Yeah.
Well, that's
Ryzen.
Japan.
Yeah.
Japan, there's anything goes in Japan. You do what the fuck you want.
Yeah, it's like whatever they can think of.
Yeah.
They used to have tag team MMA in Japan.
They still-
What?
Yeah.
No.
That's amazing.
Oh, really?
Tag team MMA.
Me and you.
Yeah.
Vanderlei Silva just did some kind of tag team grappling event.
How the fuck is that possible?
They're all about spectacles over there. Like
They love America.
they love
They love
giant,
like anything American or like the West. They would
Yeah.
freak
So,
out.
This is in Russia.
Oh, I watched. This was on TV. I watched this shit on TV.
I watched this.
This was on like.
this was on World Star.
Well, maybe that's where I watch it. Maybe it wasn't
watched
TV.
this
World Star is
online
TV.
recently.
Yeah, that's my news station. Yeah, that's the only thing I know what's going on in the world is World Star.
So we're watching a 5-on-5 MMA.
No, this was on TV. I definitely
No, we're
watched this
watching.
on
We're
TV.
watching Steve's doppelganger right now. That's you, Zac Efron.
Yo,
is your
thank you for
celebrity
saying that. 'Cause I know I
doppelganger.
said that. All right, pause
just
this.
realized that.
Pause
That
this
is your
because I gotta
celebrity
tell the
doppelganger.
story.
shape. You know.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, your abs
Yo,
are
I'm
way
gonna
better.
tell you right now. It's so crazy you say that. Me, my mom, and my dad. We watched Dirty Grandpa.
Was it funny?
It looked Yo, it's fucking unreal. How
Is that
it's
with
gonna be
De
funny.
Niro?
Yeah.
Dude, my dad was wiping tears. It was so. It's fucking crazy. First of all, I don't know why De Niro's even taking these movies anymore because he's like the best and he's like
He doesn't say no to anything.
nothing. It's like he knows the world's ending. He's like, I'm gonna get all this
It's
money
almost
I
like
can.
if I stop acting, I'm gonna die.
And
Because
that's
he'll
all
take,
Which is true. When you slow down, you die.
but anything that shows up in front of him, he signs on
He
to.
did the intern. That
Yep.
was a fucking crazy. I watched it because it's De
He did
Niro.
that other weird movie, like Stardust or something like that. It was like some weird, like sci-fi fantasy movie that he did. It's on Netflix. I saw it. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at right now?
Oh, yeah, wasn't it with like Michelle Pfeiffer in it? or
Something like that. Yeah, it's like Stardust.
So hold on, since you guys brought up Vespa, I'm driving my Vespa with Bird. Do you remember Bird?
I don't think I ever met him, but I know who he
Bird
is.
used to work with us. Bird's the best dude in the world, and so we're on our fucking Vespas, and I get pulled over, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, I have no license to drive this thing. By the way, it's 2012 or whatever, 10, 11, and so I get pulled over, and the guy it was a black cop, and he pulls me over, and he was just like.
And you're on a scooter. You're a
I'm on
white
a
guy
fucking
with tattoos
scooter.
on a motor scooter.
Chubby,
Not in Brooklyn.
not in Brooklyn. I'm the only guy in Long Island with a Vespa. Me and Bird. So we're like cruising around like Oakdale. The guy pulls me over and he was just like, "Let me see your license," whatever they ask, and I was just like, all right. I give him my driving license, like car license, and he was just like, "You Zac Efron?" I was like, dead serious. And I was just like, nah, man. He was like, yo, stop fucking with me. And I was like, bro, I'm covered in tattoos. I'm fat. I'm like 10 years older than him. I think. I don't know. And I was like, bro, I was like, no. I was like, I wish. Because I wouldn't be on a Vespa in fucking Oakdale. If I was fucking Zac Efron.
Dude, when I saw, because there was the
That's
ad
so
before
fucking
the
crazy you say that.
the ad before that video was Zac Efron. I'm like, this
Looks nothing like me.
I don't know. Let's get some
No.
real images. Get a better image than that. Let's
That
see.
guy's got
Look at
real thick black hair. He looks like Uncle
Well, I
Jesse.
do
That's
have
black
nice
and white,
black
though. That's
hair.
black. Yeah, Steve. You don't remember Steve with
Yeah,
hair,
I have
though.
really nice hair. But
Dude, you can see the facial feature resemblance. Come on, you're telling me?
I don't.
can see it.
I mean, I'm.
A little bit. I see it.
That picture right there. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
I wish they
think,
could see that.
What's
That
Gang
looks
said?
like-
You're in better
Yeah,
shape.
there you go.
Better shape. Yeah, that looks just
That
like
guy looks like he's about
How
to
much-
be in the movie 300.
How much sauce do you think he's on?
He's got to be taking something crazy. You don't look
100%.
like that from just being.
Not what you're
Normal.
not
See that
doing.
picture? Because you used to have hair like that. Go
Yeah,
back
yeah,
up.
yeah. That.
No, go up real quick.
I see.
That. You used to have hair like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's.
I had nice. I mean, when I had hair, it was nice.
That's. I remember. That's the way I remember you. So I can definitely see that resemblance.
I just don't get. I don't see it. Maybe because I mean,
I can see.
I'm old and shit, like tired and 2 kids, and
Listen,
that guy
dude.
looks like a Greek god.
Go start.
Working out?
Get on some juice.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Work out. And next summer
I'm
you will
too
be
lazy to work
you will
out.
be
I
crushing-
can't take juice.
You'll be crushing ass as Zac Efron.
He's gonna get tons of girls pregnant. So
Get a vasectomy.
Yeah, no, I can't.
No, that
Get a
like
vasectomy.
that kills your sperm count. So
Steroids?
like, yeah.
Oh, well, then that's what I'll do.
There you go.
Yeah, you gotta get on that then.
Double the benefit.
Yeah.
This is like you're hitting this. This is like covering
You know what I
problems
should
from all
do?
angles.
You know what? This actually just. I should get in touch with his, like, what are they called?
PRs.
Manager or something. Be like, yo, I could do. I'll
do
work
stuff,
out.
yeah.
I'll do it. I'll be like, if he's got to go appear somewhere, I'll do it for him.
there you
You'll
go.
be like the movie Dave. You ever see the movie Dave?
Yeah.
No.
Where they get a guy to fill in for
Kevin
the president.
Kline.
Yeah, Kevin Kline. He becomes the president's stunt double, and then the president dies.
yeah.
So they keep it a secret because the president was like cheating on his wife and dies on top of the chick he was banging.
shit.
So now Kevin Kline becomes the president because he was the fill-in. And
That's kind of cool.
You'll be the new.
But that's kind of
it.
like
You're him.
the
That's
dictator.
awesome. Yeah, exactly.
When they just take the retarded
Yeah.
guy. I'd be the retarded guy. I can't give a speech. I'm like, oh,
Manchurian Candidate.
that was a good movie.
Yeah.
But I
Liev Schreiber, wasn't that who that was?
I can't remember. It's been a
Yeah, I
long
think it was.
time.
It was what's his
You
name?
mean Ray Donovan?
Ray Don. Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember.
Yo, Liev Schreiber is the fucking
this is
man.
fucking nuts. By
He
the way.
does all the narrations for the 24/7.
I never knew that until they said it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" That
Oh,
is
really? That's his
It's
voice?
him.
Yeah.
I never knew
He's
that.
the fucking best. I didn't know that until the Rogan podcast.
Yes. That's how I learned about it too.
He's real good. He's real good in Ray Donovan, but that's the only thing I've seen him in that I actually really like.
I've never seen Ray Donovan.
Are you?
It's
Out
a
of your
good show,
mind.
What's-
and
I don't know what's it on.
it's also based on a true story too, which makes it even more
I know
impressive.
you watch it, Skanger,
I
right? You
started
told me about
watching
it.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, it's the best show ever.
The general
Dude,
premise
this is the
of
craziest
5-on-5
shit I've ever
MMA.
Yeah, we're watching the 5-on-5. Is
Yeah,
that what it
apparently
started
it's
as?
Poland against Sweden.
It could only get crazier if they lit those tires on fire.
I'm gonna be pissed if Poland loses to Sweden
Jesus
right now.
Christ!
Yeah, there's like three
It's
guys
5-on-1.
axe kicking someone in the head.
Yeah, once one guy gets knocked out, they
I don't even-
tag team somebody.
Oh, this guy's like,
What
I'm
the
here.
fuck?
That's how I felt last night after getting hit in the balls. I woke up. I was like,
Yeah.
it's the next day. I'm fine. Let's go. What are we doing?
I wanted to ask you because I've never, at least that I could think of, had a situation where my
Just
balls
come
went up
back
in me.
flat.
Bro, I'll bring that thing here.
Like, what is
and I'll put
that?
it on.
I have-
like
I have
the worst
one.
feeling in the
No,
world.
I mean when you get hit, yeah, but when it just does it like out of like natural human instinct to hide, you're like, all right, cool.
From electric shock.
Yeah.
Dude, I was rolling
They just
a
disappeared.
couple months back. I was rolling with Big Steve. He took my back and his heel in the transition hit my nut. But then he put his hooks in and kept it there. He pushed my testicle up into me. And like I
got
toughed it
yourself
out for a little
pregnant.
bit. I toughed it out for a little bit until he like started, because I was trying to position my way out of it, and he kept digging his heel in. I had to tap because my nut was literally like up above my pelvis.
Yeah.
I had to stop and put my hands here and force my fucking
I've
testicle
had that happen before.
out of the inside of my
And what's
body.
weird is because you feel hurt like it's coming from where your balls are, except the pressure is like up in your stomach.
The pressure was in my throat, dude.
Ugh.
I
got
felt
big
it in
balls.
my throat. I was like,
I'm choking on my nuts.
That's what she
All right, so
said.
I have a question for you, fighting guys. What do you think about Mayweather McGregor?
I would refuse to order it.
I'm a
based
sucker.
upon
I
Is
order
that
all of
official?
them. No, it's not. But I watched a 12-minute interview this morning. I'm a weird. I bring my phone in. I got a fucking shelf in my shower. I watch videos. I bring my phone and I watch
not weird, that's
Mayweather. I watched Mayweather talk about fighting him for 12 minutes today.
Like, I think that Mayweather would just smoke him and probably knock him out in less than 2 rounds.
You think he? I see. This is my.
In a boxing match,
But
yes.
this is my thing. I don't think Mayweather has the power to knock him out because he gets hit. McGregor gets hit with light gloves, right? Like he can take a fucking beating.
Yeah.
And you got those big ass gloves on.
no, Nate Diaz.
Isn't
Diaz
a,
Nate
weighed
Diaz
a lot.
rocked
Yeah,
him.
but he
and
weighed
he's
a
not even
lot,
and he's
bro.
not even
But
a
he's not
power,
a power puncher.
But he's
Yeah,
not
but
a
he
power
was fucking
puncher.
20 pounds heavier.
No,
than
he's
him.
not.
He
No.
walked into that fight. That's not his normal fighting weight.
Hold on. Let me dispel
Yeah,
that.
you
rumor for
go ahead.
Yeah, we need to dispel the rumors about
these
this.
rumors need to get quelled real fast.
But that's
Yeah.
not his normal fighting weight.
That
No,
wasn't the
neither
normal
is
fighting
it.
weight for either
Yeah,
of
it's
them.
not the normal
I
fighting
didn't know
weight for
that.
either
I
of
didn't
them.
know.
Nate Diaz fights at 155. Conor McGregor fights at 145. So
That's what
the
Mayweather
average
fights at
person,
147.
the average person who fights at
Walk
145,
around 160, right?
more,
Okay.
probably
I've-
170, 175.
I've
Some guys,
My
not all.
friend who's ranked in the top 10 in the UFC walks around in the 170s and fights at 145.
How do you lose that much weight like that? That's fucking crazy.
Dude, my last fight, I cut 7 pounds of water.
Lauro fights at 35 and he walks around at 170, close to
Yeah.
170.
You diet for 12 weeks, and then the day before or the day of the weigh-ins, you sweat out upwards of 10 pounds. Some guys do even more.
Yeah, some guys do 20 pounds. I know guys that do over 20 pounds of water, which is crazy, but some people are just, they have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So essentially what happened in that fight, both those guys walked in and they weighed in at whatever, it was 169.
Diaz was
170.
169. McGregor was 168. So basically, it was their walk-around weights that they
I
fought.
know, but when you're this is my argument. When you're used to fighting,
You're saying used to getting hit by guys.
that when you're used to fighting at a lower weight, it's different than you're fighting at your walk around weight.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I was.
You're
saying.
definitely not getting hit. You're not used to getting hit with guys that have that kind
and
of power.
and you're also a little sluggish because you got that extra 20 pounds on it.
See, I don't think McGregor would one be able to hit Floyd Mayweather at all.
He's a ghost.
I don't think he'd be able to hit him at all, and I think Mayweather would land. I think eventually Mayweather would catch him with a punch that he didn't see.
Absolutely.
I don't think
And
he
he would
can.
go
I
down.
just don't feel that Mayweather can drop.
Absolutely, you can. I'll tell you
100%.
why. Because
really think so?
even here's the thing. Look at it like this too. The extra 20 pounds in that fight for McGregor are better for his chin.
Really?
Absolutely. Because if you don't rehydrate properly from cutting the weight, it can affect your performance. It takes 72 hours for your brain to get rehydrated.
All right, so let me ask you a question. So now they weigh in at 147, say, right?
Yeah.
Now Mayweather and McGregor. Then he puts on that weight. Mayweather doesn't put on weight. He only weighs like 155 walking around. So now you're a lot heavier, but that's also what happened to Ricky Hatton. That's
Right.
the only thing that made me think like,
You also have to look at it like this too. You're talking about a guy who all he does is punch. His punching technique is going to be...
oh no, I think that Mayweather will beat him. In
I think
boxing.
he's got a chance to knock him out too, because one, volume, the punches will add up, and two, you're talking about a guy who knows. Even though Mayweather's not a murderous puncher in terms of other boxers, but he knocks people out still, and he knows
The
how
last
to punch.
person he knocked out was fucking what's
Victor
his name
Ortiz.
when he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, Ortiz.
But he was a 20-something-year-old kid that was like, "Oh, I can't even believe I'm making money right now fighting this guy."
But I still think he's got a chance to knock McGregor out for sure.
I can't see him knocking him out, but I think McGregor might get frustrated and go after it like Ricky Hatton did.
I'd love to see him lose his cool and fucking axe kick him.
I was gonna say, I'm so I talked about this today at work. I was like, I'm so evil that if I was like a super rich guy and like say McGregor's getting paid $7 million, I would go to him and be like, yo, I'll give you $15 million.
Just
fucking
kick him.
in his fucking mouth.
That would be
And I
Head
like
kick.
Mayweather. Yeah,
Head
just
kick.
a fucking knockout. Hey, who cares? You walk away like whatever. I forfeit my money, but he comes to my house and I give him
Yeah.
$15 million cash.
You ain't boxing again anyway, so
Like,
who
you're
gives a
done. You're
shit?
done. Take your 50-0, which is ridiculous because there's been other fighters I forgot the dude's name. The Mexican fighter. He was like
Julio Cesar Chavez.
89-0.
Yeah, and
Or something like that.
he retired at like 102-3 or something like that. Yeah.
Rocky Marciano, 49-0, but then he died in a plane crash. Like, you're not...
It's different times. That's my thing with, like, don't get me wrong.
It's different times, but those dudes are fighting, like, twice a month because they're getting paid, like, fucking $300.
Back then, even, like, in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, mid-90s, back then, it was okay to lose. If you lost... It didn't ruin your career. Where nowadays, if you have one loss, it like ruins your career because back then the best always fought the best.
They don't do that.
You were going to lose.
Who
you were going to lose. Sugar Ray Leonard would lose because he fought Marvin Hagler twice.
Yeah.
You know, Julio Cesar Chavez. That's what made him all the more impressive because he fought. He fought the Barreras. He fought Pernell Whitaker. He fought fucking. He fought all the best guys and didn't lose. That's what made him.
What's that dude from Boston? Oh fuck! He was friend. They go back there too. He was friends with John Carroll. Became friends with him when John moved to Boston. I forgot his name. He was like a wild Boston fighter. And he fought this one Spanish dude like 3 or 4 times, and it was like they even had an HBO special about it.
Oh, Mickey Ward.
Mickey Ward.
He fought Taro Gotti.
Yes. Yeah. And John actually played a voicemail from him.
Really?
They call Johnny. They used to call John Carroll Johnny All Night. Like he used to call him,
Yeah.
Johnny All Night. But I watched that HBO. I was like, these guys are fucking warriors. It's not
a different time.
I mean, Mayweather's like you watch him. He's a technician. He's unreal to watch in boxing. It's boring as fuck. Yeah. And they get me for every time he fights. They get me for all that money plus.
Because there's fucking
I pay for the food for everyone to come over to my house.
But you know what? I enjoy watching his fights as much as people say, "Oh, there's no action." If you're like a fight fan and you understand the sport. And you look at what he does, and you'd say, like, all right, he's so good at what he does that you put Manny Pacquiao against him, across from him in the ring, and Manny Pacquiao couldn't even put 3 punches
with a
together.
Hurt shoulder. Let's be real.
Regardless, but forget about it. So fix him back up and put him back in there. The guy couldn't land 3 punches in a row the entire fight against Floyd Mayweather. And you have to be a certain type of good.
Oh, he's amazing.
To not let Manny Pacquiao be able to put 2 or 3 punches together in a 12-round fight.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I also think
it's absolutely amazing, and you can't take anyone away. It's like he just basically says, "Listen, everyone knows what I'm going to do, and you can study me. You could spend millions and millions of dollars on coaches and analyze everything I do, but you know what? You're still not going to be able to even put up anywhere near the same numbers of punches landed, the same punch volume, the same connect ratios as me. Forget about knocking me out. You can't even. What did Pacquiao land? It was like a third of his normal punches. I think the stats.
Well, let's go to Maidana. Maidana caught Mayweather a few times, and then Sugar Shane fucking rocked him. And if the referees didn't always favor,
Shane Mosley has a very similar technical acumen to Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, he caught him with that right, and then Mayweather held on to his fucking left arm.
Well, he played the game. He played the game.
You ever meet him? He used to be from around here.
Yeah, you'd see him at Ultimate Fitness all the time.
I worked out. That's how I met him. He actually used to. Tashawn lived next. Was dating. I can't remember the girl's name, but he was married to a lady who lived right next door.
Yeah. Oh, he lived like
in Medford, Old Medford or something like that. Yeah. Or off Old. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Is he still around here at all?
No. I think Northern California.
He's still boxing though. Mostly.
I think he's like I don't know. I haven't seen him boxing forever. I actually went to a fight with Matt Dill. We went to see Paul Malignaggi versus Zab Judah, Brooklyn at the Barclays. That was a good fight.
Who won that fight? Was that
I don't know. It was a good night.
Well,
all right. That was a good answer. I don't remember.
All right, well, that's good because this gives a good transition because we didn't talk about anything related to you and your tattooing at all.
I make tats. That's what I do.
Is that it? We'll leave it at that. Fuck it. Next.
No. I don't know.
Boys that you make tats.
I make boys that make tats.
Realizing tats.
Yeah, I hang out.
Well,
got a good life.
I mean, I went to high school with you.
Yes.
You know, and I used to get tattooed by John back in the day.
You did? What do you have from John?
John did He did the very first tattoo I ever got on my arm, which has since been covered up. Actually,
Oh, you can't do that.
I had to. The sleeve that I got, it just looked. It was so out of place. It just didn't fit.
I kept my John tats.
I still have my leg from John.
What do you have on your leg?
I have
don't
this.
remember.
He did.
Did I do lettering on your leg in like the basement? Like
Yeah, you
fucking
did.
8,
You
9
did my.
years
You
ago?
did my ankles in your basement when you first started. But John did this skull,
Yeah, I remember that.
and he did this the Mr. Gotch.
Oh fuck, I do remember
that.
that thing. I don't even know what the fuck that is still to this day.
It's from a comic book.
Okay,
But
I never did that.
yeah, he did
I
that.
probably should have.
But yeah, and then when you first started, you did my ankles in your basement,
I did. I
like
remember that.
in 2000.
Basement was a wild time.
Yeah,
I remember tattooing like Matthias's like bottom of his feet like crazy.
I was there.
shit. You were there.
You did the Wu-Tang on him. Yeah, I was there.
Wu-Tang on the bottom of his foot.
Matthias is a
That's
sick fuck.
awesome.
I love him. He's crazy. That was
This was last May.
yeah. That was probably one of the hardest tats I ever had to do.
Really?
Yeah, bro. That shit. You think little lettering like that on your hand is easy?
I don't know shit about tattoos. I
Yeah,
just
no,
get
it's a
them.
fucking
Just get 'em.
nightmare.
I'm
It's like
done.
literally a nightmare to do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I knocked it out of the park.
So
And I never,
home run.
I never say things like that.
It was a home run, man.
Yeah.
I get a lot of
Awesome.
compliments on that one, actually. This is, I got my nephew's initial on me.
That was You wanted drumsticks with it. I remember.
Yeah. And
was
you were
like,
like,
"I'll just
yeah,
get to
let's
see."
fuck
Yeah,
that.
weren't you gonna get the snare drum with the drums?
That's how the idea started, yeah. And then when I brought it to Steve's like, it's not really gonna work out. It's gonna look dumb. Let's just do it with the lettering. And I was like, okay.
I'm sorry if I said dumb, but
No. See, I
Sometimes
respect
you gotta
your
do
honesty.
that, though. You know what I mean?
You gotta trust the artist. That's
No,
what I've
and
done
that's
with
what I
my
said.
tattoos.
Yeah.
I respect your honesty too.
Yeah.
I.
I go to the guy Tommy and I told him, oh, I want Poseidon on my arm.
Tommy Simonetti?
Simonetti,
I know
yeah.
Tommy. Tommy's
And I was like, I want Poseidon on my arm. And I showed him something I saw online. I was like, this looks sick. I want this. I came a week later and he had this drawn up, and I was like, that's perfect. Like you got to trust. He's the artist. I have no eye for art. I've never really been into art.
Well, a lot of
like
people
to
don't-
think to
don't-
trust my artist.
What a lot of people don't realize, it's like when you see something, you're like, oh, that's super cool, whatever. I want to get that tattooed on me. But it doesn't work as a tattoo. Like, you know what I mean? It's only, you have to leave certain amount of skin for like growth and like stuff like that. And a lot of people don't understand that. And it's mostly like young girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, this is what I want. You're like, I know, I get it. Like, I wish I could do it for you. Like, you know what I mean? But it doesn't work that way. Let me do it this way. And then you have people that just say, like, nah, well, I want it this way. And then, then that's where the battle comes for, doing your job and doing your job good. Like, the way it's supposed to be done. Where you kind of just gotta, customers always write shit. Even though you know they're not right. And you're just like, alright, I'll do it that way. And then you're just like, when, you got, like, your peers being like, what the fuck did you do? It's like, I don't know. I did what they wanted.
I got paid, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, but you know what? Honestly, if I did that, I would have so much more money. If I just did what people wanted, but I can't. I don't. I try my hardest not to do that.
You don't want to compromise the art, right?
It's
It's on them forever. You gotta. have
Yeah, I
conscience.
mean, you do that in a sense. Like, like there's only so like. I don't know. This is why I don't really like talk. Like, it's weird talking about this, like, amongst, like, people listening and shit. But it's like, we live on Long Island, right? And it's like everyone wants nautical stuff, right? Like, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I have one right there.
You're
Like-
a man of the sea, Skenga. Man of the
But
sea.
but your nautical stuff, I've never done. I mean, I've never done a Poseidon of 60,000 compasses. Whatever. I've done
compass
that.
and an anchor.
Anchor, compass,
And
yeah.
a little
But like,
segment.
it's coming. Like, what I find, it's not. I don't find it. No, I'll say it. It's difficult to try to come up with the same idea. Cool. Like, making it cool again. Like, how many fucking anchors are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sailor Jerry, you know what I mean? Like, you want anchor? Cool. Sailor Jerry, he did it the best in the 40s. Like, awesome. That's the only anchor she get. Sailor Jerry anchor. You know what I mean?
Don't reinvent the anchor.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I actually just did today. I'll show you a picture. Like, this kid, he was like, no, I want this anchor. Like, this is a real anchor. You know what I'm saying?
Like
And
you
I'm
took a picture of a real anchor and
Sort of.
you to draw it.
sort of, yeah.
Like a portrait of an anchor.
Like, I would have never in a million years done an anchor this way. Only because I'm not a fucking sea guy. I don't even know what an anchor looks like.
Yeah. Oh, so he wants one that looks like an actual anchor
Yeah,
for a
like,
boat.
like that's,
don't look anything
that's like
the
an
drawing.
actual anchor. Apparently.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, you're.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking
I get on one boat and one boat only. It's like a ferry.
It's yeah, that's the only. I've been on that and Matt Dill's boat. Me and Matt went to Fire Island once. Like,
That looks pretty sick though.
but like, I don't know what the fucking anchor looks
Hey,
like.
it looks good though.
Thank you. I mean, I don't. I mean, I just did the shading. Actually, I just did this right before I came here. But like, I don't know what the fucking anchor looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea.
How did you even? Because we weren't the best of friends. And
Yeah,
so,
we
I
were
mean,
cool.
We were cool. We
We were
played
always
basketball
cool. Yeah,
together.
yeah.
But I didn't know you super, super well. So I remember when I found out you were tattooing, I was like, "Oh shit!" I never would have guessed that because I didn't know you were like into art at all. I knew you. I knew we
I
had
was
mutual
never
friends.
really. I don't want to say I was into art. I think. Well, it all started from meeting Ryan. Carroll.
Yeah.
Which, have you heard from him at all? Because I haven't heard from him in like 2 years, and I feel bad that I haven't contacted him. Or
Me and Ryan lost touch a long time ago. You know what I mean? You guys were probably closer
Yeah.
than I was. Me and Ryan were closer when we were younger.
I just don't. I mean, after his brother passed, like he would call me, and I would feel like, what do you say? Type
Right.
shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, but also, I mean, in high school and everything, I was not around. I was off the map. I was
Yeah.
a ghost. But do you have any memory of me in high school?
I don't even have memories of high school. Period.
All right, well, there you go. I rest my case. So I lost touch with a lot of people. at
Yeah,
that
Fair.
point, So
I peaked in high school, so like 90% of my memories are from high school.
I mean, I have some like really good ones, but they were like fucking weird. Like now, I don't even know if it was really what I remember or if it was just like what I wanted to remember. But I remember night school. I went to night school in 12th grade.
I went to night school too.
Did you have Mr. LeMay?
I don't know.
Mr. LeMay, I know it's gonna sound weird because like when people like mention teachers, I always think I'm like, how the fuck you remember your teacher? This guy, Mr. LeMay, is the best teacher I've ever had in my entire life. Coolest fucking dude ever. And then like probably 3 or 4 years ago, he walked into the shop and he brought like his like super young girlfriend or whatever she was to get tattooed.
Did she get an anchor?
I don't even remember what she got. But I just remember being like, Mr. LeMay, he's just like, Zarzana? I'm like, what? Like, gave him a big hug. Coolest dude ever.
I just remember they used to get Wendy's all the time.
Who? What?
For night school, they would feed you Wendy's.
Oh, they didn't fucking feed me shit. I went to school and I had Aaron Maurizio's mother was one of my teachers in night
Yes,
school.
me too.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It was like a creative writing class or something. I was like,
But I remember they would feed you Wendy's.
they didn't feed
You'd
us.
go to the dean's office and they would give
Oh,
you...
well, you had a special treatment. You might get sent to the dean.
No, I didn't get sent to the dean. That's where you went to go pick up fucking Wendy's. They would give you Wendy's. Like, you pay $1 and get fucking a Wendy's like junior bacon cheeseburger.
I remember. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe.
Did we go to different night schools?
I barely. I don't remember anything.
Back to tattoos.
So I met. So I'll tell you, and this is going to be weird because now you hit my memory. I walk into Miss Thoden's class, who was our, not biology. What's the other one with all the
Earth science.
Nope.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. I don't even fucking know. Maybe I don't know. I walk in. I was like late or something, and there was like one seat left, and it was like Ryan's seat. And I was just like, motherfucker. You know, I'm like, fuck. Like, just looking at Ryan, because he had that look in his eye where he's a dude you don't want to really sit next to, but he also looks super fun.
Ryan was the funnest person ever.
In the world. So, like, you kind of get that. He had, like, crazy curly hair, and he's, like, kind of lanky. And, so I remember sitting next to him, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? He was like, I'm super hyper and, like, fucking ADD kid. And, just hit it off, and I was just like, I remember by like the end of that 40 minutes, I was like, I fucking love you. I was like, you are what I needed. Like, you're so fucking crazy.
Ryan's the kind of kid who was like the type of crazy that like you'd never want to leave aside because he's the most entertaining
You don't want to
person.
miss anything.
Yeah, he's the most entertaining person.
You hear those stories where it's like kids like, oh, I didn't go home, so I didn't want, like you read like fucking memes or whatever they are, and they're like, you didn't want to because you don't want to miss something. You never wanted to miss anything Ryan did because it was always something crazy, but
He-
good crazy, not bad. Like
I'll never
you get
forget-
in trouble.
First day of 8th grade, we had Mr.
Did you wait? You in South Ocean or Saxon?
No, I'm at Saxton.
I took Latin in Saxton
Did
in
you?
9th grade.
Oh, okay.
I used to get a minibus by myself from Oregon to Saxton.
Oh, yeah. I went to Saxton with Ryan, and I think it was 8th grade. We had Mr. Sullivan, I think his name was, for social studies. First day of class, Ryan's in the back, bro, and this is like probably like 96 or something like that. He takes this fucking, he takes like the ditto assignment. It's like a folder like this, and he wraps it up in this magazine he had. I think he had like a BMX magazine. He wraps it up. This is right after Ace Ventura 2 had just come out. First day, they're doing like, attendance or whatever. Ryan takes the thing.
Ace Ventura just came out.
Yeah, Ace Ventura 2. Ace Ventura 2. He takes the thing, crumples it up, and it just starts going. He starts doing the
I could picture it.
He just starts doing this, and he's like, yeah, and does the whole monologue from the airplane. He's like, "There's something on the wing. There's something," and Mr. Sullivan just sits there, and he's like, "All right, everybody, Ryan Carroll, heard about you. Get out." Dude, he's just yakking the whole way out the door, down the hallway, even louder, like just kept it going, and the whole class was just, we were all pissing ourselves. Like me, Robbie Tommaso, Christy Tommaso, like Brian Felice, like Sean Ein. We were all just in tears from him. And I just remember that class was the best because Ryan would do something goofy like that every single class.
I always wonder, like, like you get older, right? Like, we're older guys, and like you think about being younger, and like you kind of have I don't know what the word is, like that stops you from doing something or saying something, or
Yeah.
but Ryan never fucking
felt
had
it,
that,
yeah.
bro. He was just like, I'm just gonna do this right now, like whatever came into his mind, and you're just like, all right.
Yeah, he operated
And when you
completely off of impulse.
Yeah, and when you became his friend, like you as an adult, I appreciate it more. Like, and I also, if it was now as a father, as my son, I would have kicked the shit out of him. But like as like a friend, you're like, yeah, that's why I loved you, because you were so fucking crazy that
He's like free.
You made it free. He was free. Like we don't
free.
have that anymore. Like I don't.
There's like people who say they don't care and they don't give a fuck. Like
He
Ryan
didn't
was one of
give a
people.
fuck.
I don't even think he knew that he didn't give a fuck. That was just his default was just that way.
I'll give you one quick Ryan story because it's not bad and it's like whatever. I don't even remember what took place or why this was happening. We're sitting on my stoop, and I don't remember the full story. I just remember saying something to Ryan, and him instantly punching me in my fucking mouth. And I didn't say anything bad. Like, we were just hanging out. And he punched me in my mouth, and I, like, shot in on him, and I took him to the ground. And I get on top of him. I wouldn't hit him because, like, he's my friend. Like, I don't know why I just got punched in the face. So, like, I'm on top of him, and he's crying. He's bawling. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, what the fuck? He was like, why are you doing this to me? I have cancer. And I'm like, no, you don't have cancer. And he's just crying. And I'm just like, Ryan, what's wrong? I was like, you just punched me in my face. And he was like, that was weeks ago. And I'm like, no. Tommy Marfoglia was there. And I was like, no, you literally just punched me in my
Rick
fucking
James.
mouth.
That was weeks ago.
Dude, and I'm not even making this up, like, sound funny. Like, Ryan. Like, this is 100% true. We wrestled, and we ended up in, like, my garage, and, like, I'm on top of him, and I wouldn't hit him. He's just like, that was weeks ago. Why are you doing this? I was like, he's punching my fucking my lip is bleeding. For no reason. Like, he just hit me. I don't know if he had cancer. I don't think he did. Like, he's alive. I don't know what the fuck happened.
That's crazy.
So anyway, so Ryan introduced me to his brother, and like I had a tattoo. I got tattooed, so I had a fake ID. Chris Stalker was my. If Chris Stalker's out there, I had your ID.
Chris Stalker.
Yeah.
What a great name.
Yeah, fucking creepy. Going somewhere with that ID, like
How old? How much older?
I was 16, so I think the ID was for like 19 or 20.
You know what's awesome is Zac Efron probably got his first tattoo with your ID.
I wish. Am I that much older? It making me feel.
No, I was born in '87.
Why do you know that?
Because I just looked it up. Because you asked me to fucking find out, and I looked.
Right.
Chris
All right, so
Stalker.
we're a little older than him. That's all right. Not too much older. That makes me feel a little bit better.
But like old enough where you could use your fake ID.
Yeah,
You're
he
the
could have.
perfect
No, he
age
could have.
range.
Yeah.
You're like
That
the
was kind of
perfect
just
age
like me
range,
and Chris Stalker. So I went and I got tattooed, whatever. And then I got a cross with a banner. And I left the banner empty. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I want to write in that banner. So then, like, I'm in, like, Miss Spoden's class at Ryan, and I was like, you know, I gotta fill this banner up. He was like, oh, my brother tattoos. And I was like, sick. So I met John, and, like, John wrote, like, blessed or something. Like, that was the only thing I could think. Because I felt like when I was younger, if I got, like, religious tattoos, like, my mom and dad wouldn't, like, be mad. So, like, everything was religious because, like, you know, not that I'm super religious, but, like, I was like, oh, I won't get in trouble. I want to be tattooed, so let me do whatever I can not to get in trouble. And then me and John, like, hit it off. He was, like, the cool, like, all right, I don't want to, you know, we all know John passed away. John was awesome. I love the fucking guy. But he was fucking 10 times crazier than Ryan.
Yeah, John was a wild man.
Fucking wild man. But the most genuine and loving and would take it, like, he would do anything for you type of guy.
Yeah, he would do stuff for you that you probably didn't even deserve because it would put him in a deficit, and he'd do it anyway.
He would do
it
it
for
anyway.
people. I mean, he was a good dude.
He was honest. He was really one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. He just had, you know, demons, and we all deal with them, and John just couldn't deal with them anymore, you know? So it's sad, you know, but he got me into it, and...
Were you always artistic though?
No, I'm still not artistic. I don't do myself that.
So you weren't like that artistic kid that was drawing in class, and then you were like, "What should I do now?"
I can doodle the shit out of you right now.
Okay,
like, you could just doodle. But now tattooing is not. If I would have known, and like I say this, like, because you know, even when you're tattooing random people, they always ask, "How'd you get into this?" or like, "Why?" or like. And I remember hanging out with John and Ryan, like, because Ryan always looked up to John. In a sense, like, John was a superhero, you know, and I was the older brother. I never had an older brother. So I was like, oh, this guy has an older brother. That's fucking cool, you know, like, damn, I never been around an older guy. Like, you know, I was always around, like, my dad and my uncles and shit, which was awesome. And, but now I'm, like, around an older guy who's only, like, a couple years older than us. And, so hanging out at the shop, honestly, like, when people ask me, like, why did you do it? It was money and girls. That was it.
That's a great motive. Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yo, straight up, it was because the only person I knew was John, and it was money and girls. It was making crazy amount of cash and hanging out with girls.
That money and girls.
But I was also fucking 15.
That's probably
You know what I'm
motivated
saying?
like the vast
16.
majority of men in
anything.
all throughout history.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anybody do anything?
Why do we do anything?
Why do we dress nice, get haircuts?
I don't dress nice, but you
Fucking-
guys look good.
You know,
I've been giving up
I
slowly.
just like to look nice. I like when anyone, not even women, compliment my hair. Like, you guys have nice hair.
I honestly, I've been looking
I'm
at
not doing
it.
it for the chicks.
I've been
I'm doing
looking
for
at
you
it the whole
guys.
time, but I didn't want to sound weird because my hair started to go.
Yeah.
So like that's why if you ever see
Honestly, I
pictures
feel
of
bad that I did it with you having no hair.
yeah.
Sorry. Or a shaved head.
You know what it is? No,
You
it's,
look
it's
like
back
you
here.
could have hair.
No, back here's gone.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really like
That's what I was
I
going to
don't
say.
think it
You
would
look
look
like you'd
that
have like a decent hairline. It's much better than mine in the
No,
front.
it's just back here. I have like a weird like looks like a
Gotcha.
horseshoe in the back.
So you're getting it back there.
Yeah, so I just took it off. But that's why my
Fire
hair
it before it quits on you.
exactly. That was actually me. I'm gonna steal that. But that's why my kids, I make sure because they got great hair. I make sure their hair's like good, nice haircuts.
Let them grow. Let them grow it out nice and long and enjoy it while they have it.
Yeah, they do the comb. I get like a nice. My son likes he calls it a racetrack. I get like a line in the side of his hair because he thinks it's like a. I don't know.
He's like aerodynamic with like the racing
Yeah,
stripes.
he thinks he's got a racetrack in his hair, which is cute.
Make him get the 3 like Vanilla Ice.
No, he asked for the other day we went, and he asked for a blue race car and slippers. My best friend, brother, whatever. He was just like, I don't think I can't put a blue race car in there. Like, how do you tell a kid like you can't do it? He was like, yeah, well, you can come back for that because you don't want to let the kid. Fuck, am I gonna put a blue race car in your hair? Yeah, that was weird.
this was Benny.
The Benny, yeah. Lincoln just sits. Lincoln's he don't care what you do to him. He's just like, all right, gets haircuts, laughing. Benny hates getting haircuts. It's like a nightmare.
Well, it's because he can't get the Blu-ray star.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't know if you've seen like guys on his iPad all the time. He's like a super nerd, but he's on his iPad and he's like looking at shit. I don't know. Maybe you saw like people with crazy hair. I saw some dude with like a fucking, that feather tattoo that everyone gets with the birds coming off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like all the girls get it. It's like a feather with it turns
It's
into
from
birds.
that movie.
yeah.
That's from a movie?
Divergent? Isn't it from Divergent? I think.
I hope
like
it's
right
not.
here. Like a lot of girls get it right here.
No, girls don't get their collars. They get it like where you can't see it.
I don't know.
Oh, it's like a feather. I can draw it, but it's like a fucking.
Can we Google it?
Yeah, Google the.
Divergent
I don't want to
tattoo.
talk shit because.
Oh, look, tattoos comes right up.
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
Because it's
But
like
thank you
birds,
for
like,
being a
kinda
super nerd
flying.
and knowing.
I enjoy the movies.
No, I actually really like those movies. I'll be
Yeah.
honest, those are fucking good.
Google.
I watch whatever
Google
chicks
girls feather.
No, feather
bird.
birds. It looks like this. Like I give you a quick one, but it looks like it's like a feather and there's like little black silhouette birds coming out
Like
everywhere.
the feather becomes the birds.
Oh,
I don't think.
yeah,
I've
feather
seen
into birds, right there. Oh, yeah. It's,
Oh yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Like the
You do
feathers
that a
breaking
lot.
apart.
yeah. It's still. I don't even understand.
What does it mean?
Meaning.
It represents.
There
Does
we
it
go.
does
Meaning.
it represents
I would
freedom?
love to know the meaning.
Free yourself. What?
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
I don't. Wow.
I don't understand how that's.
It's like the new tramp stamp with
Yeah,
tribal.
real meaning.
What is
for
the
it.
meaning of feather tattoos?
Do you guys still do like the tramp stamp tattoos on the lower
People
backs?
don't really get them that much.
But like once in a while, do they?
I haven't done one in probably 4 years.
Okay, really?
The new
Yeah,
the new
that's
girl
not-
tattoo is the thigh. Right? Isn't that like a big one?
I
now?
feel like that is the new.
a lot of girls do the thigh. I feel like.
Nah, girls. I
That's-
mean, girls are starting to.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's starting to get better tattoos because of the internet. Like the internet, like helped and ruined, but like
And,
people
like-
understand a good tattoo now because of the internet. Like you can follow people on Instagram.
You can see
that
who
are
does
fucking
good work.
awesome. Like there's so many guys right now that are so good. It's like depressing how good they are.
And even like TV shows,
Oh.
like Ink Masters.
Well, TV shows.
Like,
are
I mean, I don't know.
ridiculous, to be honest
if
with you.
those probably aren't the cream of the crop of tattoo artists, I'd imagine.
No,
Maybe
because they're
some of them are
competing
pretty
to,
good.
you know.
But you see better tattoos than what my dad has. Like,
Yeah, but you probably don't appreciate. I mean, it depends on who your dad got to. I don't know if they're really old
my
tattoos.
dad,
I love
my dad
old
has a
tattoos.
little clown on his arm that looks like him. Like he was
It all
drunk.
depends,
and was like,
though.
"Let me get this," but it looks like it's an old tattoo that's not that great. Like my tattoos are way better, and I'm way cooler.
Who is
My
better?
dad's cooler than me. I can't say anything.
Your dad is pretty cool.
My dad's fucking awesome.
Your mom is awesome.
My mom's the best.
I've never
Oh,
met
going
your
back. Well, I forgot what we were talking about. But my mom, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, or I think stage 4. I don't know. 6 months to live.
What?
Right as my ex got pregnant with Lincoln, and my mom. I mean, this is like super weird to talk about, but she's good now. She's actually like whatever, like kind of cured, I guess. So she gets pregnant, whatever. I went to Richmond for a tattoo convention. I come home and I'm like shot, like just drove like 12 hours, however fucking long it takes. I don't know. I slept the whole way. I didn't drive, but my friend George did. And so I come in and they're like awake and they're like standing there. And Justine, my ex, and she's like, "Oh, we need to talk." And I'm like, "Fuck!" Like in my head, I'm like, "What did I do?" Well, I didn't do anything because I was working. So I'm like, "What did I do?" So I go and sit down. It's like my mom and her, and she was like, "Oh, I'm pregnant." She's like, "I'm pregnant, Justine," and I was like, "All right." Like I was like, "All right," pick my bags back up, let's go back to bed. I'm like, I already have one. Fuck it. Well, who cares about another one? You know what I'm saying? Like at that point, like fuck it. Like whatever.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like you're celebrating because you were trying real hard for a
Yeah,
while.
no, it was like, oh, I fucking knew it. Like, you know what I mean? And not that it's a
Bunk
bad
beds.
thing, but yeah. So anyways, then my mom gets sick, and my mom wanted to quit. Like, she wanted to be like, she didn't want to fight. And then, but she was pregnant. Justine was pregnant. And I was like, yo, you got to fight. Like, are you kidding me? Like, she wanted to, because they told her, like, this is it, stage 4, like, which is fucking super crazy.
Yeah.
So I talked her into like fighting and going for treatment, because going for treatment is brutal. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it was really hard on her. It was hard on the whole family. And so then my son was born, Lincoln, and my mom was like he's my angel. He was sent here to make me get better.
He was the purpose.
He was the purpose for her to fight. And then she got accepted into Sloan Kettering in Manhattan, and this experimental. You worked there?
I've done work there.
Oh, and they had this experimental treatment, and also President Carter had the same treatment. He's still alive, right? That's what I'm right. I got the right guy, Carter. Only president didn't go to war. Democrat. Just saying. And he and my mom had the same treatment. They both cured.
That's awesome. So it's
Fucking amazing.
something that they have for lung cancer now that I guess works real well.
It's basically 25% of humans have this one protein in their body, and this drug somehow does something with that protein and it gets rid of the cancer.
So you have to be
awesome.
in that 25%.
You got to be super fucking lucky,
Yeah.
and be in that 25%.
I mean, it's not that lucky. 25% is.
Well, if you're in the 75%, you're
yeah.
shit out of luck and you're dead.
But 25% is a decent number. But
Here's an
horrible odds.
Here's an interesting thing.
No, you're right. I shouldn't take it away. 25% is great.
But, I mean,
thank God.
Yeah,
25 is better than 10, but it's still not great.
No, it's my mom was like, I have it, you
Yeah.
know. So then you like, you know, I'm going to treatment with her, and it's like you know, and then you know when you go to like chemo and radiation, like it fucks your body up. Like I don't want to get into like conspiracy shit and everything, but I don't think anybody should have to go through that shit with everything we have in this world. That even I don't smoke my. I never like smoking weed. I honestly, I'm not even like just saying that. Like I get anxiety. I don't like it. But
Yeah, weed doesn't mesh with some people.
I hate it. I'll be honest. But
I gotta find that happy medium because otherwise I get paranoid as fuck and anxiety too.
I just it never did it for me. Like even when I was in high school, like I was like, oh, this is what, like I thought everybody felt like how I felt. I was like, what's
Can
fun
you
about
Google
this? I'm
something for me,
fucking
Steve?
panicking. My
You'll
balls
appreciate
off.
this clip because it relates to boxing, and this is
Someone on
when you
you
told me
panicking
no
fighting?
when you told me the story about your mom in Lincoln. Google
I got
custom
pee
model.
real quick
Yeah, go
while you
ahead.
Look at this.
Go ahead.
Is this on the?
Google Customato interview with Mike Tyson.
I think I know exactly which one you're going to show me.
Yeah, we'll go pee when you come out. We'll find out.
Cool.
Yeah, when he mentioned this, I thought of this instantly because it's like Customato.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, 2 words. So cuss and then D'Amato.
That's Customiles like
The
Tyson's trainer, mentor, his boy.
Yeah, he's the one who made Tyson.
The older gentleman.
Tyson,
Made
yeah.
Tyson, yeah.
Yeah, the Customato Tyson interview. Yeah, this is it right here, the very first one. Yeah, he says something in here that instantly reminded me of what Steve said. Do we have these speakers working now?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking A. We've upgraded. We got speakers. We got this monitor mountain. We're fucking
Moving on up.
yeah. Fast forward a little bit, I guess. Keep going. Keep going. Is this the screenshot they showed looks like a different part? Oh, all right, yeah. There you go. It's coming up.
And you do it in what people call an heroic manner.
Yeah.
They think of you as a hero. Whatever. They
Keep
think
going.
of you as that way. But the hero and the coward keep yourself from doing what the
This,
coward does.
yeah.
Or a so-called coward.
I think it should be in this clip that's coming
I
up.
feel that all boys growing up in the environment that he did would require help, patience, and have them.
The mic's gonna pick this up.
Because I tried to make them feel, and I hope I did, that
Find
I
out.
understand this kind of life. I grew up in a tough
Otherwise,
area
it's dead air right now.
From the beginning, even at
turn
age
it up.
13, Mike was determined to make his mark as a boxer, and in the gym near Cuss's house,
Fast forward a
he
little
showed a
bit, 'cause-
strength and determination were emotional golden gloves, a dangerous sport. When Mike's mother died last year, Cuss became his legal guardian. The effect of their relationship has been tremendous. Cuss has always been a loner in the shadowy world of boxing, but he has indeed struck a
Fast forward a little bit.
responsive chord.
I couldn't talk to people.
Yeah, this.
I
This
used
is
to
it right
always
here.
want to be alone, and now I learned how to deal with anyone. I could talk to anyone, even about their problems. It's like a father and son relationship. You know, even though he is my manager and trainer, sometimes I forget that because of the way we are. I can say honestly, I have a very deep affection for him. I do.
This is it.
To me, he's my boy. He's with me. So I often say to him, you know, I owe you a lot, and he doesn't know what I mean. I'm going to tell him now what I mean. Because unless
weren't here, I probably wouldn't be alive today. The fact that he is here and doing what he's doing, and doing as well as he's doing, and improving as he has, gives me the motivation and interest to stay alive. Because I believe that a person dies when they no longer want to live. Nature is a lot brighter than people think. Little by little, we lose our friends that we care about, and little by little, we lose our interest. Till finally we say, well, what the hell am I doing around here? We have no reason to go on. But I have a reason with Mike here. And he gives me the motivation. I will stay alive, and I will watch him become a success. Because I will not leave until that happens.
That's exactly what I thought of.
100%.
That's what...
Yeah. I mean, I've had so many conversations, like, with my mom, like, while it was going on, like, you know, like, my mom's my best friend, like, you know what I'm saying? And I just remember being like, no, but then you also are, like, you have to put yourself in their position. It's like, would I really want to fucking go through this, like, being sick and, like, being whatever? Like, your kids are grown, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, but then when you have grandkids, you're like, I gotta fight, you know what I mean? Like, but my only reason for doing anything is for my kids. But then if my kids were 30 and older, you're like, all right, well, I did my job. I'm kind of done. You know what I mean? But then, you know, so that whole shit is crazy.
Yeah, grandkids are a different ballgame. Like my parents, I'm the youngest of three. I'm 29. My two older brothers both have two sons. My parents are all about the grandkids. They love the grandkids. My dad is retired, and he babysits at least one of them every day.
Yeah.
Anywhere from 1 to 3 of them every day. And that's, you know, I mean, he's only like 62. He's in fairly good health. Dad, but that's what keeps him going. That's what keeps him busy. It's, you know, it's their life right now. And that's awesome. I love how close my parents are.
Yeah, I love
the grandkids.
My ex, she didn't like, I don't really know the whole story, but she didn't talk to her dad when me and her were together. And then when she got pregnant, I was like, yo, you have to, you know, get that relationship back. Because I had my dad's dad, my dad's dad, but he wasn't around. Like, I didn't hang out with him all the time. But I only met my mom's dad once. Like, my mom only met her dad like twice ever. And I was like, I want them to have that relationship. My kids have the relationship that I never had. You know, I want him to come around, like, whatever. You know, her dad. And it's so crazy. Like, Lincoln, Benny's a little more independent now, my oldest son. Like, he does whatever. Like, he's cool. Like, if I got to put Lincoln down for a nap, like, Benny gets on his iPad. He'll build Legos. He'll build, like, which, quote, an epic racetrack. He builds like Matchbox car racetracks, like, and he'll do like on the couch. Like, I buy him, all he wants is racetracks, and he wants to be an engineer. He even tells me he's like, I want to be, like, he knows what he wants to do.
At 3 years old.
He even. That's awesome. I mean, I don't want to get off. I mean, I'll get off topic real quick. One day I was changing him. He don't wear diapers or anything anymore. I'm not like changing him like that, like, but getting him dressed. And he was like, Dad, I want to. I forgot exactly what he said. I don't want to, like, misquote him because it was so good. But he said something like, I want to build buildings like you paint paintings. I was like, why? Like, I didn't, at first, like, I don't understand. Like, he's a kid. Like, you don't get it. He was like, because when we're gone, when you're gone, your paintings will still be here. And when I'm gone, my buildings will still be here. The kid's fucking 3, bro.
Yeah, that's some deep.
And you know what's crazy? I mean, you've met my son. You know how he's insane, like, smart. And my sister was in the room. My sister looked at me like mouth open, and I was just like, yeah, like, this is what I'm dealing with. The kid's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, back to like the grandparent. I know we're here to talk about tattoos, but
it doesn't matter. This is more interesting.
So it really is, because tattooing is awesome. I love it. I love it more than anything. I mean, not more than my kids, but more than anything. But so. My son, Lincoln, is attached to me, like, almost annoying, because I can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? I can't clean, I can't do anything. He's always by me, daddy, pick me up. Like, he wants to go outside. We have, like, stray fucking cats in the fucking yard. I hate cats. I'm allergic to them. He wants to be outside looking at cats. Not touching them, because they're not, like, he just wants to look at them. He just wants to be outside looking at them. And I don't want to be outside looking at them. I got shit to do. So, my dad walks in the house, My son acts like he don't even know. He's just like, oh, Papa's home. He just gets up and that's it. Boom, to my dad. Which I love, because my dad was amazing. Like, I'd rather hang out with my dad than anybody now. So I love that my son loves my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, what the fuck was I saying? I was...
Grandparents, the relationship.
Yeah, no, we were going something else with the kid just now.
I don't know. That's what the pen and paper was for, Steven. Instead, you drew
I have to write that. I can't write things down. I fucking drew that. I don't want to touch a pen. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Benny's wild, man. He's the best dude in the world. I mean, I can't wait for Lincoln. I feel like Lincoln's more out. Benny's very into himself. And, like, I expose Benny to a lot. Like, you know, I take him to concerts. Like, I take him to anything. Like, I took Benny to that Knicks game. Lakers versus Knicks for Super Bowl Sunday. Like, not this season, last season. And, like, I posted a picture on Instagram, and, like, all my friends hit me up. Like, my uncle has season tickets, like, courtside. And,
I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. And everybody hit me up, and they were so, like, yo, I would have went. I'm like, and in my head, like, you'd be nice to your friends, like, you'd be cool, but, like, I'm really saying, what the fuck I want to hang out with you for? I got a son. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather hang out with my son than anybody, any day of the week, like, you know.
And that's like a huge experience. I mean, imagine to be able to sit courtside at an NBA game as a child. That's something that he probably went back.
He won't even remember it, though.
I don't know,
because he was only.
No,
he remembers it because, like, I made it something he'll remember. I went and we got jerseys. Like, I like basketball. I haven't followed basketball since fucking Jordan left, honestly. You know what I'm saying?
Since open gyms.
Yeah. Like, you know, I don't follow it like I used to, but I made sure it was something crazy. And I made sure I took him to see Kobe. I made sure I took him to see LeBron. We went to see LeBron last year as well. I didn't go to any games this year, just was too hectic because I feel bad leaving Lincoln. I'm so, like, when I have them half the week, I make sure I spend the entire half the week with both of them. You know what I'm saying? So I took him to see. I don't know if I gotta get close to this. I do not want Trump to win, but I took him to see Trump.
Explain that.
Emporium?
Yeah, because I wanted him to experience. I want him to do everything and learn everything that
That's awesome.
Instead of he has everything. I don't want to say don't buy him everything, because the kid has everything. I want him to experience and learn and see everything that I didn't get to see.
What do you think about that?
He thought he was at a concert because he knows Uncle Matt Dill owns the Emporium, and he knows, you know, he's really good friends with Matt's son Jace. They're like best friends. Okay. They go to the same school and shit. And he, in his head, he was going to a concert because I'll take him to concerts there, like the all ages, like hardcore shows. Like, I'm not into it, but I take him just so he could experience it.
Right.
You know, like, I'll bring him to that shit, like, because, you know, even Civ, my boss, who I would like to get into when we get a chance, but I took him to see Civ one night for it was Benny's birthday last summer. It wasn't on his birthday, it was like a couple days before his birthday. Civ played a show, and I took Benny, and, like, you know, they let Benny, like, not play the drums while the show was going on, but, like, in between, like, Benny was hitting on the drums and, like, shit like that. Like, shit, like, I don't know if he's even gonna appreciate it, because he might not be into it, but I want him to just experience all of that shit that I didn't get to do.
Right.
I had my dad took me to baseball games every fucking weekend, so it's not like I didn't get to do that shit, but I just want him to do everything, both of them. But Lincoln's a little too young now. But I'm looking forward to Lincoln being able to do that, because Lincoln's a little bit more outgoing than Benny is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I only went to the fights, you know, not only for you, but I wanted to, like, if I could
expose them to. I saw you put up that picture of
I would have just brought Lincoln.
Right. And I saw the picture that you put up too.
Dude, they fought the entire time.
That's funny.
They fought the entire time.
Was it because they saw fighting and they
No, they do it all the time. Because Lincoln loves fighting. He loves to fight in a friendly way. Never does that bang. He walks up to me and he goes, "Daddy, fight!" And he hits his hands weird. He's like, "Daddy, fight!" I'm like, all right, so I get on my knees and then. But you know what's the funniest thing is Benny will say, "Lincoln, get Daddy, get him," because he knows Lincoln will come at me. Benny's like a little more timid, but Lincoln's just like a bull. He's just like, and he runs at me, and I'm just like, oh shit.
You're gonna have to get them wrestling when they.
Well, what I tell my
Laser Wrestling Club.
No, my son, Benny. I'm not like ashamed to say this. Like this isn't me. He's actually really small. I'm short. I'm 5'7". His mom is 4'10", and so Benny right now is like, you know, they do that. You have a son, you know, or son, right?
Yeah, I have a son, a 10-month-old.
That's awesome, right? It's the best.
Oh, there's nothing better.
I know. He's at the, you know, they do that like sliding scale, like weird shit that they do.
Certain percentile.
Yeah. Benny's on 0 percentile for a 3-year-old. He's gonna be 4.
As far as height goes?
Height, weight, whatever. And they want him to take growth hormones. So she's really not about it, you know, whatever. And I have to weigh it out. We have like a couple of years before we even like make the decision. But funny story about Benny. So we're in the doctor's office, and he was, you know, the doctor's like talking to me and his mom, and they're like, "Well, how is he like mentally?" Like, fine. And he was just like, "I'm gonna ask him some questions." I was like, "All right, go ahead." He's like, "Benny, are you in school?" And Benny's like, doesn't answer at first. I'm like, "Benny, answer the doctor." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can you draw a circle?" And Benny goes, "Yeah, of course I could draw a freaking circle." And like the doctor looked at me, and I'm like, "All right." He's like, "Benny, do you have friends in school?" And Benny's like, "Nah, I don't have any friends in school." And he's like, "Do you play with anybody in school?" Benny's like, "Of course I play with people in school, but they're not my friends." And the doctor looks at me, and I was like, "Yeah, he's fine." He was like, "No, he's fine." I was like, "I know he's fine."
He's a wise ass.
Yeah, he's fucking too fine. He's a dick. Which I'm like, cool. I love that.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember when I first met him.
At the restaurant.
Yeah, and hearing the two of you talk. And I was like, this is hilarious. Because you don't... And I appreciate that, because you don't talk to him like he's a kid.
No, I never have.
Like,
Never
you
once.
don't kid talk
Me and his mother made a conscious decision to not baby them.
I think that's real important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I mentioned it in another podcast, but I remember growing up.
We did talk about
and
it.
meeting family. I had other distant family members that were like cousins from another side of the family, and we were at a family reunion together. And they had this, I guess, a 4 or 5-year-old daughter that spoke more eloquently than like the Queen of England.
Yeah.
And I said to the parents, I said, your daughter is the most well-spoken child I've ever encountered in my entire life. It was almost like having a conversation with somebody that was in a movie that had all of their lines scripted for them. And she said we never did go goo goo gaga. Oh, what does the baby want? They never did. They said we're intelligent people. We never did any of that with any of our children. And my aunt and uncle are doing the same thing now. They have 3 children that are under the age of 8, and all of their children are well-spoken, articulate. They answer you in complete sentences. They all excel in school.
Yeah.
So now with my son, it's the same thing. We're sort of doing the same, following that same footwork and path, and we're trying to lay the groundwork. Even when my wife and I speak to each other, we try to speak more clearly.
Yeah. I mean, I speak like a fucking gorilla. Like, I'm horrible. Like, I don't even want to... I'm not even going to listen to this shit because I'm so bad. But... No, I know I'm horrible. Like, seriously, English is hard for me, but...
Well, I remember sitting in the restaurant, and you guys were ordering and then eating, and I remember sitting there, not even getting involved in the conversation, just listening to you, and I was like, this is like sitting with my friends. It would have been like sitting and listening to Yarbrough and Skanga have a conversation and bust each other's balls.
Constantly.
Like,
no, honestly, he's my best friend.
Your 4-year-old son busts your balls.
we were like busting each other's balls back.
Back,
He's like, yo, stop being a jerk, Benny, just eat the cracker.
Yeah,
like
we go back and forth, and that's why when people say, like, you know, I would have went, like, I took him, like, he got this from his mom. Like, I'm a huge, like, hip-hop guy, whatever, but I never knew who Fetty Wap was. Like, I'm not into that new shit. Like, we like old school shit. And I
still don't know who that is.
It's he had the trap.
Wait,
Yeah, he had like a
name?
trap. Fetty Wap. He had like a trap
Fetty Wap?
queen song. It was crazy. I mean, it's catchy. It's like
Trap music is trance combined
I don't
with
even
rap.
know it's trap
Let's just
music.
move on from it, because I don't even want to give it any attention.
Yeah, let's not. But, well, it gets deeper because I kind of started to think why my son might like him. Because, like, my son, he was born with like a lazy eye. So he has a lazy eye, he wears glasses. And Fetty Wap is missing an eye.
Yep.
So I'm, like, trying to think why he likes this shit. Because, like, I mean, it's a catchy song. But, like, I don't particularly enjoy it. But I listen to it because he likes it. But I took him to see him. I took him to, like, meet him. Like, we went on stage. Like, he, like, you know, met Fetty Wap and everything.
You're the coolest dad.
Yeah, you
And
might be the best father.
Well, no, you know, it's... You just do what you know, I do whatever I can to make sure he, you know, has these memories. Well, I don't, he's too young, he probably won't have these memories. But
Bullshit, he's gonna
and see-
remember.
How old is he?
He'll be 4.
So he's going to remember. I have very vivid memories prior to being 2 years old.
I have none.
None?
0. I had one memory of falling down the steps. We had a really high stoop when I was a kid. And I remember falling down the steps like at 4, and that was it.
That's why you don't.
I went to
remember anything
Disney,
before
and
that.
I went to Disney, and I don't remember at like 5. I don't
You
remember.
got traumatized on the teacups
Yeah.
and fell. That's why.
Yeah, like my ex took them to Disney, and she was like, "Oh, I'm taking them to Disney," and I was like, "Awesome," because I didn't want to pay for that shit now because
Because they're not going to
they ain't
remember.
remember it. And that shit's expensive. And I'm like, I'm so happy they went. Like for their soul. Like even if you don't remember it, it's good for your soul.
You can,
like
you
to
can
have
tell,
fun
you
and
can
be
tell
happy.
other people in the conversation. You fit into the conversation. I didn't go until I was like a teenager.
I haven't been since I'm 5. I would love to go. I want to take them eventually, but I'm not going to spend that money until
When they're like
they
7
fucking
and
remember
10,
that shit. Daddy took you.
6 and 6 and 8.
You can get the credit.
Yeah, I want the credit for that. Nah, but you know, it's good for them. I was very happy that they went. I was super pumped because it's good for you to be happy, whether you remember it or not. Being happy is good for your soul. But
I think it's awesome, dude. I remember telling you because, like I said, we've been friends and we didn't speak for a while, but I remember seeing in freaking Instagram, and I don't remember where I saw you, but we ran into each other. I'm like, dude, and this is before I ever met Benny. I'm like, dude, your fucking son's the man. I remember telling you, I saw your Instagram and everything you put up, and I was like, dude, I love the relationship you have with your son because, and I repeat myself, especially on this podcast, I've talked about this probably ad nauseum, but about authenticity, and you can tell that it's authentic. Like you're not,
Oh, dude,
you're not like faking. It's like
No.
you could see the love and the things you do, and even the way you talk about them.
Yeah.
Like, we were supposed to be talking about fucking tattoos and shit, and your
whatever.
kids
I
dominated
love
the
tattoos,
podcast. But you could tell. I'm saying
Yeah.
you can just kind of tell. And like before I saw you with your son, I already kind of had an idea like the relationship you guys had, and it just came across. And then when I saw you guys in person, I was like, this is exactly how I imagined it to be.
Yeah.
And because I kind of I feel like I took to it a little bit more too. The reason why I like I told you, I was
Yeah,
like,
we've had this
I was like,
conversation
I almost have
before.
a crush on the relationship you have with your son, and I took to it more because like the relationship I have with my nephew. I don't
we've had
kids.
this conversation. Yeah,
Yeah, and obviously, I didn't grow up with like the whole best dad situation. So I was like, and knowing the situation you're in, I fucking admire the shit out of the way you are. With
I
your kids.
appreciate
I think
that.
it's fucking awesome.
And you know what? With like being a father and like not.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm hungry. I just want to know who you were eating. No, with like being.
I get shit on when I do stuff like that. I pour a drink. It's like, oh, you fucking asshole.
You poured it from like the ceiling. Has a
He's
noise.
shooting it out of his mouth
Waterfalls and
into a
shit.
cup. But you know what?
Entertaining.
But like being in like a dad or like really anything in life where you have to start out and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, it's super hard. Like the other day I was just like changing Lincoln, changed his diaper, and like I said before, like I have the best relationship with my parents. Like they're my best friends, and like I have their names tattooed on my fucking palms, Barney and Patty. But my mom came in the room and she was just like, she gave me, as I'm changing my son, she gave me a hug and kiss, and she was just like, I'm so proud of you. You're a great dad. And you know, it's like as nice as it is to hear from you or even your own mother, you don't know. Like I don't know if I'm a good dad, and in my mind, I won't know until they're adults.
Well, yeah.
Because if they fuck up, it's my fault. Mm-hmm. So right now, I could do everything cool. I could do everything. I could be the most loving. Like I tell both. I mean, Lincoln doesn't understand what I'm saying. I mean, he understands, but I tell Benny every night, every single how proud I am, how much I love him, how much of a good boy he is, how much of everything. I appreciate him. They've taught me more about myself or about life than I would have ever learned without them.
Right.
And I tell him because I feel like it's important to express feelings, especially to children or even to your friends. Like I feel like that's the most important thing that we lose in life, that we don't express ourselves enough, especially with like the internet and like people want to be cool and shit like that. Like, yo, fuck that. If you appreciate somebody, tell them. Right. That's how I feel. So I tell my children how much I appreciate them. Do you know what I mean? And it's
well, that's what I mean, and that's why I said it. And I'm a broken record, but authenticity.
Yeah.
You could tell. You know what I mean? It's not just like you said, like the internet. Sometimes people put things up to
Be cool,
create
like-
a persona or an image. You could tell that that's not what you were doing.
Like they're like.
But even so, like I don't know. I come from a German background where nobody shows any emotions whatsoever. Like,
Get out of here, you're stoic.
yeah, I'm talking about like family members that are like direct family members that you live with die, like tragically, and nobody cries. Like nobody, like I mean, people are upset, and I look at it now as having a son. I tell him that I love him all the time, but I just grew up in a household where we don't say that, and it's awkward now. Like I don't say I love you to my parents ever, and they never have said it to me ever. Like maybe when I was a kid, my mom used to say it, or like now it's very awkward when it comes up, and it's almost like a family joke. The awkwardness it like causes if we say we love you, it'll have to be said in like a third person. Well, you know that I love you very much. Yeah. Like it's almost like said as if you're like referring, like it's almost like sarcasm.
Like I've mentioned this before. Remember it.
Like yeah.
I do actually love you.
Well, I know there's no need for me to tell you all again. Like.
I told you that one time in 1974.
But there's something like really nice about that. Like I remember going to like other people's houses growing up, and like their mom would like kiss them on the forehead. Oh, I love you. Oh, remember I love you. I'll see you later. And I'd like think like, oh, we never see that. Like we always knew. Like I'm not saying my parents didn't love me, but like I always sort of knew.
Yeah.
But it was just something that was like left unspoken. And I remember thinking that's like, all right, this is something like cognitively I'm going to change when I have kids. I'm going to be much more affectionate.
You really do.
I'm going to spend much more time with them than my parents like were able to when I was younger. And like, I'm not working full time right now. I do a bunch of things on the side.
Listen, I heard you do the houses and shit.
Yeah,
That's
flip
awesome.
houses.
We'll talk about that later. I got some ideas.
All right, sounds good. Like I make my schedule like not 100% around my son, but if I had a regular job or if I was doing what I was doing before, it would be leaving the house early in the morning before he was up, getting home around 6 o'clock, and he like 10 months old. They go to bed at 7 o'clock. Yeah. So what would I see him? Maybe an hour a day when he's cranky before bed after he's all worn out. And instead, you know what? I'm making less money. I'm making less than half of the money I was making before.
Don't even matter.
That's what I mean. It doesn't matter. I still get by. We do fine.
Yep.
And I get to live comfortably. I get to enjoy my wife, and I get to spend a lot of time with my son now while he's young. Because I read one of those stupid internet things where we interviewed people before they died, and we asked them the top 3 things they would have changed about their lives. And one of them was they would have been more honest and affectionate to people that they loved. Yeah. The other one is spend more time with their kids when their kids were young, and the other one is work less.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like implement those 3 things now
I think that's honestly,
while I'm in my 30s, as opposed to regretting them when I'm set. Who knows how old? I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty coarse, so I don't know if I'll make it past 65 or 70. I mean, I hit 70 on my tombstone. I'm having it engraved. Only the good die young. After I hit 70, because that means I'm wretched and old.
Yeah. 70. Yo, fuck. If I live to 70, I'll be so happy. I actually had the conversation this morning with my dad. I was like, yo, it's 2 ages I always worried about. I was 27 because all the rock stars or whatever died, and then 33 because God, Jesus died in 33. I was like, I got this year. I was like, if I make it past, well, I'll be 33. If I make, I'll be like, all right, I'll live. Fuck it. I don't care what I
outlive Jesus.
those 2 years, the famous people, and then Jesus, I feel good. Yeah. Nah, but like like telling people you appreciate them. You know what I mean? Like, even, 2 examples. Like, Matt Dill is one of my best friends. And I always tell Matt, I don't ask Matt for shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always tell him, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm proud of you for what you've done. I'm proud of you, whatever. However you got it, whatever you did it, and you work hard, and I'm proud of you. Right. And then, my boss, Siv. Siv has done, if it wasn't for Siv, I would have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I owe that guy my life. I love him. I adore him. He is a father figure. He's a brother. He is a best friend. You know what I'm saying? And I can never repay. I do. Well, Siv knows. Like, we've had. He has not been super happy with me in the last 2 years because of my personal shit that flows into work with me being unmotivated and shit because I'm mentally exhausted. Like I went, me and my ex broke up. court, fighting for the kids, having split custody, dealing with the kids, and I could easily have just been like, all right, cool, I'll see him every other weekend. I can't do that. That's not me. Like, I had, so tattooing has struggled. I've struggled a little bit in tattooing where I'm not, I love tattooing, so I don't want to say I'm not, whatever, but it's
not maximizing potential in that area, I guess.
In my head, while I'm at work, I'm thinking about everything else I have to do, and instead of like becoming Kobe and creating the Mamba and separating yourself and being like, yo, work is work, and that's it. I can't do that for some reason, and I struggle with that. And me and have had, we've had countless conversations, and I feel horrible because he is, the closest thing to a dad. I mean, besides my dad, he is. Like, on Father's Day, I text him, Happy Father's Day, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, he is a father figure. So, I know that, and that's another thing, like, when you, even like, fighting or whatever, like, because tattooing is, tattooing is like kind of like fighting, but you're the only person, like, it's me. I do that tattoo. If I don't do a good tattoo, someone finds out I didn't do a good tattoo. And I've done some fucking shitty tattoos. And I've done fucking awesome ones. So you have that every day where it's like you win, you lose, you win, you lose, you win, you lose. And you want to be undefeated, but it's fucking hard.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
Failure is necessary, though.
But finding that inner, like, strength or inner to keep going and perform at such a high level is fucking hard, man. And for me, I struggle at it. Like, I find it hard to, be like, put my other shit aside, because in my head, like, yeah, tattooing, I'm a tattooer, right? That's how I make my money. That's my life's work. But also, I'm like, these are my kids. That's the only thing that matters. But without tattooing, I can't support them. I can't give them everything they want and send them to private school and do fun shit with them.
So you gotta just find that happy medium.
And it's hard. And right now I'm at that place now where I'm starting to get over the whole, okay, court, like getting custody of the kids and moving on from that, to which took place last summer, to now starting to get in the groove again of working.
Mm-hmm. So you grow professionally again.
So I had a fucking shit year. Straight up, I had a shit year. 2015 is the worst year ever. Like, so now I'm getting better, and I'm starting to feel myself again.
That's cool.
And that's what I like.
New year, new me.
New year, new me. 2000. I feel like 2016 is a buffer. I'm gonna give myself 2017.
That's gonna be the year.
2017.
You're gonna get bodied up like Zac Efron in 2017 and stuff.
I would like to, I mean, what we talked about earlier over there. Once I can, then I'll be ready to go.
Right on.
That sounds good.
I agree with what you were saying though, about telling people how you appreciate them and stuff like that, because I think it's good for the people to know that too, because I think if people are able to realize the impact they have on somebody in a positive way, I think it lets them know that what they're doing is good and helping other people out. And I think it inspires them to keep acting accordingly almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's reciprocal. And like I've talked about this before, Eric was a big positive influence on me.
Oh, I like that.
I've told you this before. You were a big positive
no one else
influence on me.
though.
Good job, buddy.
Just the rock.
And I've told you this before. I told you I appreciate you for this, because when I first started getting into jiu-jitsu and I wanted to fight and everything, Eric was already pretty well established, and you and Ryan probably doesn't even know this, but Ryan was a positive influence on me as well. We talked about this before. My first sparring experiences with you guys, I had the shit beat out of me, but you guys were like, hey, good job, and come back and we'll help you out. I remember after getting done with that, I was like, I might be in the wrong fucking sport here. Like, this might not be for me. And they were like, yo, come around and help me out. And it rubbed off positive on me. Eric, some of your attributes with the way you think have rubbed off positive on me. Same thing with, like, even you, Yarbrough, and like Dre and Butch and those guys. There was a time, and I hate to, again, be a broken record here, but when I was fucking fat, I was a fucking.
Have we not talked about you being
No, it's not about. It's not
I
about
wanted to have one podcast without you being fat.
It's not about that. It's not about that though. It's about
getting over being.
It's about because
You weren't fat. You look like me how I look now.
What?
No, I saw that picture. He was definitely he had a good 40 or 50. He's a good 40 or 50 pounds on what you are right now.
This is supposed to be going down a good road.
No, it's good. You look great now. I'm jealous. You look great.
Yes, I'm so glad we didn't make it a full podcast without talking about
I tried not to. I warned you guys. I didn't want to talk about it.
Steve actually preempted the podcast by saying, "Listen, I really love David. I don't want to bring up the fact that he used to be fat." And he went out of his way to do it. We were trying real hard, but Dave himself
brought it up this time.
Dave himself brought it up.
That's
well, no, because it was relevant. It was relevant to the point I was trying to make. And the thing is,
that's always relevant.
I was in a bad place, not just physically, mentally. I wasn't doing anything good in my life. I was unmotivated.
That's where.
Mentally I was a fucking mess, and I was fucking up. I wasn't holding down jobs. I wasn't doing anything with my life. I was stagnant, doing nothing. If anything, I was probably regressing. But I had friends who cared enough about me to pull me aside and be like, listen, dude, you are fucking up. Like, get your shit together. And without that, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have been able to unfuck myself without friends like that. And I tell them all the time how much I appreciate them.
Were some of those friends people that you thought were a little fucked up themselves, and you were probably like, well, if the fuck-ups are telling me I'm a fuck-up, I better take this seriously.
Well, no matter who tells you, I feel no matter who tells you, if someone notices it, you have to take,
It's hard. It's hard to take that at first. It's hard because you're like, who the fuck are you to tell me what I'm doing? But honestly, at the end of the day, the friends who are up front with you and are willing to hurt your feelings for the greater good are the best friends to have.
100%.
And you got to appreciate that. And I tell my friends now, like Andre, you, Yarborough, Butch, Eric in your own right,
as soon as you slip, I'll bring that up before you're even done slipping.
It's good to be held accountable. Yeah, you need to be held accountable.
Dave, what are you doing? What the fuck?
But it's worth something. And I think, like you said, telling people you appreciate them for those things are valuable, because then it lets those people know that they did something good for you, and I think that has a lot of value in it. And I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to torpedo the whole "don't bring me up" fat thing, but it was relevant.
You look great now. I think you look great now, which is so hard at our age to look great.
I thought you were
gonna stand up and take your shirt off just now when you did that. I don't need to do that. I was like, I saw you with your shirt off last week. You don't need to stand up.
All I did was adjust it.
No, you went like this. I thought he was gonna come up.
I pulled my shirt down like to fix my
Zac Efron.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. The Zac Efron.
You guys make me feel bad about myself. People like, oh, you look like Zac Efron. Nigga looks like a Greek god. I don't know. I fucking wish. Hey, I could do that if I tried, but you
could be a lot worse though, buddy. I see a lot. There's people out there doing it worse than you are.
Well, now you make me even feel bad, like saying you're bad, but you could be worse. That's what I got from that. Thanks.
That's not what I meant.
I know you're bad, but your fatness onto me right now.
How dare you? That's not at all what I'm doing.
You're bad, but you're not.
I started this off by calling you a handsome motherfucker.
I am. I don't have this good hair like this guy, but
you know what I am?
None of us do. None of us do.
You know what I'm gonna say though? You know what I'm most jealous of out of all this is your grades.
My gray hair?
Dude, I tried to grow a beard this winter. I grew it out. I was growing it because I was praying it came in gray, and it fucking didn't. Yo, I swear to God, dude, I thought it was going to be gray.
Too young for
Dude, I started going gray at 25.
Like, he's got touch
my mom, 5th grade, full white hair.
What?
Swear to God, my mom has white hair. My mom has white hair.
That's weird.
5th grade.
Dude, I started going gray at 25 years old. No bullshit. Remember Joe Wise?
Yeah. Where the fuck did he go?
He was up in Boston. Him and Justin Dower lived together.
That's the other person I was going to ask about.
Yeah, Justin Dower's in Brooklyn now.
Okay, well.
Killing the real estate game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's a city real estate guy?
In Brooklyn, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like,
that's
got in, like, as it was fucking, yeah.
I don't know if anyone noticed how he gently lifted his hat to show the grays just now.
Showing off.
It's already the beard. It's already the beard.
I fucking wish.
I was up in Boston. I was like 25. I went up to there to visit them.
I've never been there. I want to go so bad.
Boston's
we should go this summer.
Yeah. I'm down.
Yeah. I mean, well, we'll go after September.
All right. I'm down.
Maybe it's a little
September.
cooler. Maybe we'll take Benny for a game.
Dude, and if my nephew is up, I'll take my nephew.
Yeah, let's go.
That'd be dope.
That.
I'd love
That'd be fun.
But I was up in Boston, and I'm walking down in the North End where they lived, and Joe Wise turns to me. He's like, oh, look who's the salt and pepper boy. And I was starting to get all gray on the side. I was like, fuck you, man. And then it just kept going. I started going gray.
I really do. I fucking love it.
It's bad, man. Look at all this.
No, it looks sick in the head. It looks awesome. Sick in the head.
I'm
You are sick in the head. Nah, it looks good.
I get away with it a little bit more because my hair's light and I can't.
Oh, because you can kick the shit out of anybody? You want
I
to?
can't kick the shit out of
Come
anybody.
on.
Get out of here. I lost my last fight. You were there.
I still don't think you lost that fight.
Yeah,
He really didn't lose that fight.
that's for another time. But
I think you did.
Do you really? What do you think he did
I'm
wrong?
a hard judge.
I made a mistake in the second.
made a
round.
mistake.
I know.
Second round.
I see. But you had him. You were on top of him. What happened when you were on top?
I got
In that
Overzealous.
second round, he grabbed the fence, though.
Yep. Well, that happened, and you have to you can't let that happen. I mean, it's happened to me in fights. I still won. You can't let that happen.
How'd that feel?
Remember before how I said you were a positive influence? Gone. Just wiped that off the board.
Yo, but talking about, I want to get Benny because he's extremely small. I was telling him because I have a nephew too, and he's sick. Well, he'll be 6, a day before Lincoln, August 13th, and he fights with Benny constantly. But he's a fucking big kid, and he's big and he is tough because he had me and my brother like wrestling and fighting him and fucking him up and not, you know what I'm saying? Like you do with little kids, but he's not afraid to get hurt. Like this kid doesn't give a shit.
Oh.
So he wrestles my son.
kids.
Yeah, the kid plays football. He's a fucking beast. Like he fucking hits people. He doesn't.
How old is he?
5. He'll be 6, but his dad is a big dude. Like his dad Joe is a big dude, but kid doesn't have fear. Fear, but you know what I'm saying when it comes to like hitting and shit.
Kids still bounce at that age.
Yeah. But so he wrestles with Benny and shit, and I gotta sit there and I gotta watch because Grayson will get a little too much because Benny's really small. Like even though they're 2 years apart, but Benny is almost the same size as his brother who's 2. So so I was like, Benny. Actually, it was Sunday, and Benny was taking a shit, and I'm sitting there and we're talking. And I was like, he was wrestling his cousin. I was like, yeah, you have to do jiu-jitsu. I was like, that's the only thing where size doesn't matter.
Brazilian
That you
jiu-jitsu.
will fuck somebody up.
Wrestling as well. Just saying.
Well, same whatever, same shit. Like I want, because I was like, if you could weigh 100 pounds and grab a guy 200 pounds and break his fucking shit. I was like, that's the only thing you're going to be able to do is you punch somebody, no one's going to pay attention. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't care how much you punch a 200 pound dude, you weigh 140 pounds. Anyone can get lucky and knock somebody out, but you got to be able to break their shit. And I was like, we got to do it.
I think as soon as the kids are old enough and they have interest, to sign them up for Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I mean, even if it's the type of thing you have to force them to do when they're little kids, it's going to help them later on in life. Just to go through life with that type of confidence, knowing that, like, they're not going to get picked on in school, and if somebody tries to pick on them, it's not going to work out for the bully.
Yeah.
It's just going to end up real negatively. And with my son, I always say, as soon as he starts showing interest, I'll get him in whatever the local school's wrestling program is and start them with Brazilian jiu-jitsu right away.
Yeah.
Just so that they get to grow up with that confidence. And my younger brother, I started doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu and MMA type stuff when I was in my late teens. My younger brother was a few years younger than me, so he was like 13 when he got into it. And he went through all of like pretty much junior high and high school being like a legitimate badass. Yeah. And I mean, there's something to be said about growing up, like especially like as a male on Long Island. I mean, we've all been in fights, especially when we were like kids in our teenage years. To just go into them not having to like psych yourself up or feel uncomfortable in any capacity, just like it's another day in the office. I mean, there's something to be said for that. And jiu-jitsu is great and wrestling is great because it gets you used to being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And being able to function and focus on whatever your task is at hand while you're in an uncomfortable position, and then to overcome the obstacles of your opponent or whatever it is and to succeed. And that's all life is. I mean, life's uncomfortable when we're at work every day. I mean, 100%. We're uncomfortable when we're at work, but we still got to do our job. And not only do our job and just get through the day, but if you want to be successful, you have to be real good at it and you want to excel. And I feel like getting the kids into some type of like wrestling or jiu-jitsu program early just helps them grow up with it. It's not like something you have to learn. Like I had to learn that as an I had to learn that as like an adult. I had to learn discipline as an adult. Not because my parents didn't like discipline me, but just because I didn't grow up with sports, so I didn't like know what it meant to like work at something and get better. I just assumed like if you were good at baseball in high school, it was because his dad played baseball, he's been playing since he's a kid, he's naturally talented.
Was he coach fucking kicked the shit out of you?
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was because somebody made you keep doing something, or you liked it enough that you wanted to get better.
All the time.
You should do jiu-jitsu. With Benny.
100%.
Oh, I know.
What you just said.
We talked about and I've listened to the podcast and people are like, oh, he said he's going to come and blah, 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 but we've talked why I can't go.
Right. No, I know that. What I'm saying is when Benny starts,
100%
you love to do things with your son. You should do it because it'll help you with what you were just talking about. You know, you're talking about how you can't get your mind into where you need to be at work and tattooing.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu teaches you...
You have to be in the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're forced.
You're forced.
There's no thinking in the back of your head. You have something bothering you.
And I know this might sound... I mean, I did growing up, like my dad put me in Kung Fu. I did Shaolin Kung Fu. Darren Four, who was my dad's really close friend, he owned the Shaolin Kung Fu in Shoreham. And I did that for a few years. And then when I kind of outgrew that, like I didn't care about getting belts and like getting shit like that. Like I wanted to fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? So then I started doing boxing at Atlantic.
Okay. And
then, but you know, I did enough where I was just like, all right, cool, I could fist fight anybody and be all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I always had it in my head, like, you're not going to kill me. Like, so getting into a fight never once scared me because what's the worst thing that happen? You get knocked out.
Yeah.
Gives a fuck. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I forgot where we were going. But anyway, like, not being afraid is the best thing. The only time, that's where I was going, the only time I felt, and even to this day, because I've suffered from anxiety my entire life, like, pretty much like, debilitating anxiety. Like, I haven't been on a plane until my son was born. I was 5. I didn't want to go. Like, I begged my parents not to take me to Disney. Like, because I was scared. Like, I was scared to travel. I just have this weird fucking thing in my head. And I said, you know, when Benny was born, I said, I don't want him to ever even know that existed in my life. So when he was like 8 months or 9 months, we went to Florida. And that's where he took his first steps. 9 months old, the kid fucking started walking. And so I did it for him. So ever since then, now I'm cool. I'll go anywhere. I don't give a fuck. Like, because I did it. But the only time I feel calm and comfortable is in awkward situations. That's just how because my brain at something that's so where you should feel comfortable, like such as laying in bed, like where like most people like lay.
No,
in bed,
your mind probably starts going.
I fucking get anxiety. I'll have an anxiety attack watching TV.
I can't
do it.
I have like a whole protocol for falling asleep, and I got thrown off over the weekend. Dave and I were up late for a Glory kickboxing event on Friday night. And
that fucked my whole.
Oh, I haven't been.
You went or you watched it?
No, we were. Yeah, we were.
We worked it here.
We were keeping track of the. Yeah, we keep track of the statistics.
It was in LA, but we did it here.
It was in LA.
How the fuck do you even do that? It's a 3-hour difference. How the fuck you
watch it? Do you want me to explain it, Dave?
Yeah, explain it. Sorry for interrupting. I just my mind got blown up. Because I would have went. Why do you tell my mom wants to go again? We just talked about it. And it was a fight, and I missed it.
So Dave and I work for a company called CompuBox, and they also own.
That's what counts the.
Yeah, we count the punches for boxing, MMA, and kickboxing. So essentially, the way it works is we have this special keypad, and we have a computer program that registers each type of strike. So every time in boxing somebody throws a jab, we register it. Anytime they throw a power punch to the head, we register it. Power punch to the body, we register it. Or if they miss, we register that as well.
I was just going to fucking ask you to show me the thing.
So Dave has our keypad out. It just looks like a normal keypad, which would be like your number pad next to the keyboard, except these plug into the USB port in a laptop. And that's what we utilize. Each key keeps track of a different statistic, and then they register in a program, which then shows up on your TV in between rounds on the fights.
So let me get into the production truck.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. This shit isn't happening at the fight? It's happening from somebody watching the fucking fight at home?
Sometimes we do it live. If we're not doing it live, we usually do it from a separate stream that's not what everybody's seeing, that's a little bit quicker.
A little quicker. Yeah, because
A
you get a
little
delay.
bit
There's always a delay.
Circuit stream.
Yeah, it's a closed circuit
I want to be like
stream.
this to my brother. Do not gamble on fights because there's guys in their fucking house counting the punches.
Guys that you know.
Guys you know are counting punches. My brother likes to gamble. Do not bet on fights. There's guys drinking beers in their living room counting punches.
We're sober.
No,
Yeah.
I'm only kidding. That's crazy, but I've never seen. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we sit, watch it.
How the fuck do you?
So me and Eric will be watching the fights. I'm watching one guy, he's watching the other. Now, when you do this, it's kind of an art form. You have to change.
I was
the way
gonna
you watch.
say,
You have
yeah,
to change
because
how you
you
watch fights.
Yes,
So if you and Skanga were fighting, and Eric is
you
counting
can only
Skanga,
watch me
If I'm counting your punches, I'm watching Skanga.
get punched in the face.
Yeah, because I'm checking to see if he reacts.
He would never hit that keyboard.
I don't know. Your hair would work against you.
Yeah.
It would make the
It would-
punches.
It would fool you.
Everything would look like a power punch.
Even if I miss, they'd be like,
We
I was sitting the hair left, I go right.
we had to train for months to be able to get this down
yeah,
to the
because I
point
could
of,
never do that.
to the point at which we were like accurate. And like Dave said, you have to train the way you watch fights, and you learn to watch fights differently. And unless somebody gets knocked out at the end of the fight, I couldn't even tell you who won, unless it was like a real blowout where one guy knocks down the other guy like a whole bunch of times, or somebody's it's literally just like a one-sided beating. Just because essentially you're just sort of like watching to see if the strikes, did the fist land, did the knee land, oh, where did that kick go? Okay, what was that? 2 jabs landed, then there was a slip punch, then there was a kick or a knee to the body, and we register all of those. And unless I'm like, whoa, I've been busy the whole time, if it's been going back and forth at all, sometimes I'm like, who do you think won? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You step back, kind of like,
Yep.
I think that was a pretty crazy fight because like you realized, holy fuck, there's a lot of action going on because you're like this the whole fucking time. Then there's fights where it's like, okay, I haven't
A
done
Mayweather
anything.
fight would be like
and
that.
Eric is like, my guy's been throwing nonstop. And I'm like, I've just been doing nothing.
I've had guys. I had a guy in one event not land a single head punch in a 3-round 5-minute fight. Not land one single head punch, and the whole fight, it was an MMA fight. Was it MMA? Yeah, it was an No, it was a kickboxing fight. It was a kickboxing fight.
It was Friday night.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember the guy's name, but could you imagine fighting for 15 minutes in a kickboxing fight and not
That'd be so
landing one
frustrating.
hand punch?
They're 3
Oh, they're 3-3. Sorry,
that's
3
so
threes.
frustrating.
Not landing one head punch, and that's like what you do for a living. But it's weird. It's a different way to watch the sports entirely.
It's cool, and it's cool being on the other end of it too because like we're connected to the guys who are doing the production for like ESPN that it's on.
Yeah.
And so we share our screen with them, and they'll come in. Hey Eric, what's the big stat for this round? And we'll tell them, and then 2 minutes later,
So
It's
you
up on
hear
the
you guys
screen.
as well?
Yeah, we speak to each other in
Oh, that's
real
fucking
time.
awesome.
and then 2 minutes later, you see it up on the graphic.
Yeah,
That's us.
they'll say like, "Oh, what's that?" Because they might not be super familiar with mixed martial arts or like kickboxing with European rules kickboxing. So they're like, "Oh, what's the pertinent statistic that we
How'd you
should
guys
show?"
get hooked up with this?
I grew up in Lindenhurst,
Uh-huh.
and myself and another friend, a professional fighter, he's in the UFC actually, Ryan LaFlair, were friendly with the owner's son, who now runs the company. And then when mixed martial arts became more prevalent, they transitioned from boxing. Now they do mixed martial arts as well. So they were looking for guys that knew MMA as a sport that they could train to start doing this. And myself and Ryan, we used to fly to all of the events because the technology wasn't there to do them remotely at that time. It was like 10 plus years ago.
That sounds way better. So
Well-
you get to go to all the events.
It was cool. We did. I got to go to a lot of cool events and see a lot of cool cities in the country. Or like even I went up to Canada a bunch of times. That like normally I would have never gotten a chance. Like nobody's ever going to say like, yeah, I'm going to East Edmonton. I want to go to the Mall of America. Like yeah, but I got to go to the East Edmonton Mall, which is the largest mall in the world.
Really?
Indoor water parks, indoor everything. It was like it was a
I was
zoo.
in Dubai.
I don't know.
Might be now.
Maybe now in
I think they have
Dubai.
I actually think they have a ski slope in their mall.
Oh yeah, no,
You went?
Yeah, I've been there. A couple years ago, I was over there. Yeah, I was over there for.
You gotta brief me before I sit down with this guy that he's been everywhere.
I have been everywhere though. everywhere.
That's awesome. How was Dubai? I want to go.
Dubai is awesome, but what's crazy there's not really much like nightlife going on there. Mm-hmm. But you can go out, and what's weird is if you're white, there's like places for you to go where you can go do like, I guess you'd call it like Western culture things. Like you can go to a bar, you go to a restaurant, and you can mix and talk to like girls and stuff like that. But it's like a double-edged sword. The people that live there aren't allowed to go do that. I could talk about that.
We can.
He just held up a sign and it said "hookers?" ? Yeah, everywhere.
Okay, I was just wondering because we as Americans,
it's weird.
They put in your head that like those countries are like
it's Well, that's what it is. All the women have to cover their faces and their heads
until you pay the money, and then they come to your room.
No, but it's not Arab girls that are hookers. They're brought in from somewhere else.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
The way that culture works over there, everybody was really, really nice. But if you were Arabic, and they knew you were Arabic, and you were standing somewhere and having like a beer, people would look at you and like mean mug you because they'd be like, "Oh, you're Muslim. You're not supposed to be doing that," and they'd give you like the evil eye. Yeah. But if you're a white person drinking there,
so you can get alcohol there.
Yeah, you can.
I watch these rappers I'm in Dubai. I'm like, why the fuck would you go to Dubai? Because
it's very dependent on tourism, isn't it? Isn't it very like tourism based?
It's 100. It's 100. Their economy, aside from the oil, is 100% tourism, and they're trying to get more into
the oil is what built that fucking.
They're trying to get more into tourism because they're afraid that the oil will eventually dry up. So they're trying to make that like the Mecca of the Middle East.
Sanctions on those motherfuckers, and then that's it.
Yeah. Well, nobody
fuck up. Then they have sanctions everywhere.
Nobody's ever really going to sanction the UAE though. They're like too friendly with everyone, and it's cool. Dubai is real metropolitan, real like Bugattis. I never saw a Bugatti on the road, and I saw a couple over there. And if you went out, like we went out at night to like nice restaurants and lounges. And here you go to like a super high-end restaurant, and you might see like a Maserati, maybe like a couple Vets, a couple Porsches. You went over there, and it was like, oh, this is my nighttime Lamborghini. It's flat black. You can't drive it in the daytime because it's 125 degrees here, and the car will melt. So people there have that. My nighttime Lamborghini.
The daytime one's green.
No, it has to be white.
No. Like I'm not even like I'm not shitting you. Like it's a power play if you have like if you had a flat black like Rolls and you pulled up at night, that's your nighttime Rolls. It's like a power move. It's like saying something about yourself by like having that color car. It's like I have the white one that I drive during the day when I want to stay cool.
Did you ever see the they're like ghost parking lots or ghost whatever where you have like the most expensive cars in the world, like cars we could never get. And they're just in parking lots with sandal over them because like these rich dudes are just like
they don't drive them,
and they're just like it'll be a parking lot full of Rolls Royces or like Phantoms and like all this shit, and they're just empty. Like people, they just in fucking Dubai.
I've seen people's like personal like parking lots like that where it's all just their cars. I've seen pictures of them online.
Dude, look at it. I mean, I think I saw it on Vice. You guys watch that new Vice fucking channel? It's the best thing.
I haven't seen the channel, but I watched Vice on HBO.
Well. You have there's I don't know. I have DirecTV.
No, we have it.
The new channel.
Oh, we do have it.
Dude, I watch it. That's the only channel I put on.
It was whatever history. Yeah, that's the only channel.
Best fucking channel. I got my mom and dad watching it.
They're showing real things that are going on in the world, and not just the
and it's not biased.
Bullshit.
They don't go in there with an opinion.
There's a little bias.
Well, it's like this is
all those guys. The guys are all real beta. I mean, you look at those reporters, and like there's not one.
Alphas, I'm not watching.
There's not one even remotely masculine man that reports on anything.
Okay.
I get it, but like you could just tell like sometimes they're like listening to people just spew bullshit to them, and I just wanted to like somebody's gonna be like, Nah, man.
Well, I mean, but that's why we're not reporters. Because me and you would sit there and our brains would start to float away, and we'd be like, "Oh,
I would actually love to see both of you go on assignment, and
we
do
should."
it. And both of you,
I watched
you're
that
full
one
of
dude.
shit.
That dude Krishna does all the weed.
I like
things.
that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I
He's
can
pretty
never do that.
interesting.
He just sits there and smokes weed with like cancer patients and like smokes weed. Like I'm like, ugh.
All the kids that have epilepsy.
Fuck. I feel so. I couldn't even do those reports because like I'm a dad and child. I'm watching. I'm like, this is fucking miserable. Like this is crazy.
I was talking about that in the last podcast with that documentary, The Culture High, the kid with epileptic seizures,
And they cure it, though.
Dude,
With
I
the
was in
fucking-
tears watching
It's
this.
sad.
Dude, the weed oil, they fucking cures
the
it,
kid-
and
the
they
kid
don't
cures
give it to him. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Give the
It's
fucking kids
fucking-
weed oil.
I
It's
know,
like shit.
I know somebody he's in his 20s now. That was normal as a child growing up, but seizures began when he was a teenager, and just delineated. And now he's in a point where he can only live in a group home. He'll never be on his own.
For
And
seizures?
the seizures have like retarded his brain to the point where now he functions at like a super low IQ and will never be able to like live on his own. But it's just from accumulation of 20 plus seizures a day, and the medications never really took care of them all, compounding over the years. And it's just super sad that they couldn't explore that a little bit earlier, so that they could actually help some of these kids.
It's so crazy. I watched the one with the people from Texas.
Yeah, and they
You
had to
saw that
move,
one, and
they
they
had to
moved,
move.
and like the dad had to go back because like they couldn't afford
Yeah,
it
you had to go
anymore.
back to work. I mean, it only makes sense though. I mean, if you have kids, you know, if your kid had some problem,
Dude,
you had to
my
move
kid
to a
was sick,
different
I would
state.
do anything in the world to make sure.
All right, where are we moving? You know what? I'll work there. I'll find a place to work there, or we'll figure it out.
You should watch the documentary, The Culture High. They get into that, and this guy, he's got his son who had all these seizures. When he found out about it, he was talking about it. He's like, I've had to. I don't want to get too into it and misrepresent what the guy says, but basically, he's just like, how did I not know about this earlier to help his son out? And it's crazy how it cures it for him. So, yeah. But it was heart wrenching watching it, man. It's heart wrenching. I was in fucking tears watching it. Cause
Yeah, I can't. I don't watch that kid shit.
It's
Like,
tough,
I can't do it.
but
Because
the kids, it's curing the kid. It's
Yeah,
curing
it's the one girl. I think she's a high school girl, and she had brain cancer or whatever. And remember, she stopped the treatment on the Vice one, and she was just taking the marijuana, the cannabis
I
oil,
didn't
whatever
see
they
that
call
one.
it.
Yeah.
And like she was like, I'm not doing treatment anymore, and like they went away. And I'm like, how do you not fucking? How does the government not? I'm not even fucking around, not just saying this sort of thing. I do not smoke weed. I do not enjoy it. I do not like it. But I'm like a conspiracy type dude, and it's like, yo.
Well, I know why. I can tell you why.
Why what?
Why?
Well, there's money.
Yeah, and
You can't tax it. You can grow it in your fucking backyard.
There's a
But you
mul-
can also grow. You can also make beer in your
But
backyard.
no,
in your fucking basement if you
it's
wanted
not
to.
that. It's that there's a multitude of industries that hinge
Oil?
entirely. No, they hinge entirely on marijuana remaining illegal, and one of them
Illegal.
Illegal, yes, remaining illegal, and one of them, like the whole drug testing industry, they don't want marijuana to become legal because that's the only thing that turns up in any of the tests because all the other drugs are out of your system in a couple days. So they
very
want to
true.
keep it illegal. Then you have if you
You know,
look at-
alcohol stays in your system for 5 days.
I don't know. Does it?
5 days, 72 hours.
I
Really?
haven't been able to pass a test for that in years.
Yo, 72 hours. Not even
Since
kidding.
you graduated high school, probably, right?
Probably.
For being, I know, I have to get tested for alcohol, and it's 72 hours. That's fucking crazy. You're
That's
like,
nuts.
at first when I read it, I was just like, what? I was like, there's no way. Because you could have a beer an hour out of your system or whatever,
But the medical marijuana, when you look at whenever they propose like one of the laws to pass it, you look at whomever is in opposition. It's always all of the police unions, the sheriff's unions.
Oh, yeah.
But it's because they make so much money arresting people, just in overtime for the individual officer, confiscation for taking property or taking
But why
stuff
don't
from people.
we talk about what it really is? It's privatized prisons.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of money involved. You mean they pay
There's
that?
giant business around everything.
Those documents that just came out that it was a war against pretty much it was hippies and black people. That's what
Yeah,
the drug war
and that's
started.
why
was
it got-
hippies and
that's
black
why it
people.
got
Nixon.
scheduled.
Yeah, it started with
It's
Nixon.
fucking
It
ridiculous.
started with Nixon as a political ploy, and it turned into an industry.
Who got in office I don't even want to get into that. That shit annoys me. Kennedy was my favorite president ever, so it fucking annoys me that
He's a G.
he was the best.
He was totally a G.
And there's 2 presidents that tried to do one thing, and they both were killed. You know what that one thing is?
What was it? Break up the CIA, FBI or something?
No.
CIA,
Break up the banking.
DEA.
The banking fucking the
You know-
Federal Reserve.
you know-
They're
I
the
knew it was
only
something.
2
I knew
presidents
one
to
break
try
up
to
something.
stop it. And
Do
the
you
only,
know-
well,
do-
not the only 2
Do you
presidents.
know who got?
assassinated.
Do you know who kicked them out?
Jackson.
Andrew Jackson is the only president to kick out a central banking system that I think it was the Federal Bank is what it was called, but it was an
Yeah,
extension
but
of
that
the
was
Bank of England.
before the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, no, it was. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
Andrew.
yeah, yeah.
Precursor.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Andrew Jackson. It was basically like the Federal Reserve 1.0 instead of now they're at 3.0.
Well, now it's a world. Now the Federal Reserve is a world bank. The
Yeah.
Rothschilds and the.
But this was the precursor to that, and he kicked
He
him out.
gave them the boot.
This calls for a good currency joke, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to be able to fall. My chest can't take the currency joke. My heart might stop.
We damn near killed Eric out last time with the currency
man, that was
jokes.
so
There was just current. Everyone was cracking jokes about money,
Harriet
and they were
Tubman's
they were
and a $9.50 bill.
they were just going
I
out
couldn't
there.
even get that. What do you say that one?
Well, our last podcast with Tom. Yeah.
I didn't listen to that one. I gotta listen to that one.
Well,
I
you have to listen to
one, you'll get the joke.
I actually
Yeah?
cried.
I like the one with the girl in the operating room.
Oh, Chandra?
Yo, you had me dying with it when you said I had a procedure or whatever. And he was just like, "You had a procedure?" I was fucking losing it. I was laying in bed. I was drunk. I bought this fucking this iPad, the big ass iPad with the pen or whatever. Because when I have the kids, I can't like get up and go sit at my desk and turn the light on at night because fucking Lincoln. I move. I got piss in a bottle. I'm not even kidding. My son wakes. He sleeps in bed with me. Benny sleeps in his own room. I mean, they both have their own room, but Lincoln has to literally sleep like hugging me.
Lays on top. My son does that too.
It's. I love
Sometimes he
it.
lays on top of me like he's like a horseshoe, like wrapped
Yeah.
all around. I'm like, what is this guy? How do you even sleep like that?
Dude, it's beautiful, but it's
It's
fucking
annoying as
horrible.
hell. It's annoying as hell at
Horrible.
4 in the morning.
But I
and
love it, and I
pushing
hate
you
it.
off the bed.
Yeah. Dude, I have a king size bed and I sleep on a fucking like this wood panel right here. This is all I got, and this kid has from here to the window.
You just get wedged to the side.
I'm just
No
like
matter how
this.
big they are or
It's
how small they
it's
are.
brutal. But so I bought the iPad thing. So I put the podcast on my phone and I sit with the ear thing in, and I'll sit there and I'll draw. And I was fucking laughing with this girl with you in the procedure. I had a procedure. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't remember exactly what you said, but I was
'cause
dying
Eric's-
laughing out loud listening to that.
Eric's got a pretty
Proper.
unique way of talking. You know, everything is like very proper.
Yeah, he speaks very well. He
Yeah,
does.
you can look at this on my telephone. I purchased this. I had a
Yeah.
procedure.
Thanks, folks.
Well, as far as the procedure went, you ever meet someone that's like, oh, I had to get surgery on whatever it is,
Yeah.
and then you really find out that they like went in and they were out in like 45 minutes and they were home. It was like one of those like, oh yeah, I went there and the doctor like cut me and put a stitch in, and you're like thinking this person had like major open heart surgery or like they were in the how long were you in the hospital for? Like,
Didn't you say you were there for like 2 hours or something crazy?
yeah, oh yeah, I had my finger. They did take like a bone off the end of my finger. That was what I
2
called the
hours.
procedure.
I got 7 stitches on my eyebrow like Thanksgiving, and I was in there for like 4 fucking hours. I was the only person in there, and I'm like literally in there, and I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm the only motherfucker in here.
Were you in the
Blood
emergency
all
room?
over.
You were-
Yeah.
Oh, I was in the emergency. Oh,
I went to.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
went to Brookhaven
Well-
because I went home.
well,
and
I went
just
to- I
put
went to
glue,
Brook- I went to
like,
Brook-
tape on it.
I
My
went-
dad
I
was
went-
like, "Yo, you got to go to the hospital. You fucking."
I went to
eyebrows
I went to
sticking out."
Brookhaven too, but I was there in the middle of a snowstorm, so it was empty because no ambulances could get there.
Ah,
That's why I was probably in and
seriously was
out.
the only person there, and they still. It was like, and I saw Matthias's mom. She's like, Steven, what happened? And I was just like,
She works there?
yeah, she does. I don't know what she does. She walks around with a computer. She came in the room. And she was like, oh my god, like hugging and kissing me, and I was just like, oh, something stupid happened. But it was my brother hit me with a fucking. I was carrying something, and up the stairs in the basement, it slipped and it hit me and it split my shit. So it wasn't anything cool, but I'm like sitting in there like annoyed. It's like Thanksgiving Day.
Something up cool.
I mean, that was cool enough, I guess. I could have been like, I got beat up, but that doesn't sound cool. No, it was something stupid, but I'm like sitting there and I'm like aggravated.
It's actually more awkward when you end up in a doctor's office after a fight, it's awkward to explain that to people.
I would just be like, yeah, he's fucking
Fight
just
Club.
fought in the octagon, motherfucker. What? Sew my shit up.
You know what?
That sounds
I'm
weird.
gonna try that approach next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I fight.
Own it, Dave.
I
Own
fight
it.
professionally. What up?
Don't fight
shit
the
up.
Motherfucker. Well, you know, whatever. I fight in
know that.
places, not in the street. What up? Sew my shit, Doc. I gotta go drink beers with my friends. I don't know. Make something. Make it
Let's
cool.
hurry this up. I got places to
Yeah.
be. I gotta go show off my scars.
Yeah. What's up? I got shit to do.
I gotta go home and practice my lips so I can get laid.
That gets you later, limp?
No, I'm talking shit.
I don't know. I was gonna say.
I
I'll
was
start
like,
walking.
I'll limp the rest of my life.
Yeah. Like, you ever see what the fuck is that dude's name?
I gotta start practicing.
You ever see Tracy Morgan in Totally Awesome, where he tries to teach the white guy how to be black?
No.
Oh
Sounds
my
like a good
God,
movie, though.
bro. It's fuck it, yo. I took a picture of my son Lincoln, like he was holding his hands like this, and I wrote something like, you got to tell a girl something, you got to call a baby your sweetie before you talk about her butt, so she knows you're nice. That was a quote from.
That sounds like something Tracy Morgan would
Yeah,
say.
he was teaching this white guy how to. He did like the Bill Cosby. They had like weird sweaters on, and like a guy named Potato Chip, and he walked like this. Like,
What's the name of this movie?
Totally Awesome. You could just YouTube it. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. The kid was like, I want to be cool, I want to be black. And he was like, you don't know how to be black. He was like, you ever throw a chihuahua off the roof in the project? The guy was like, no. He's like, then you can't be black.
Have you ever seen the clips of Tracy Morgan drunk on like these morning talk shows?
Yeah, I
Oh,
literally love Tracy.
He's talking
Morgan.
about he's like
Dude, he shows his fat belly.
Yeah, he's like LL got them biscuits. He's like, I got the loaf of bread. You go eat.
And he was like, I'm getting so pregnant
Yeah,
tonight.
it's like I do karate and get girls pregnant.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That sounds familiar.
Mama say you did kung fu.
That was what it was. I'm the white Tracy Morgan. Someone get pregnant tonight. Luckily, it's Tuesday, or someone get pregnant tonight. If it was Friday, we'd be going out. Nah, if it was Friday, I'd have the kids. I'd be home sleeping already. I'm sleeping at 7:15. Yeah, no, Totally Awesome. Check it out. You don't do it now. I'm just saying, check it out. It's fucking hilarious. It's like it's an actual movie. I never watched the movie. I just watched Tracy. Like, you just type in Tracy Morgan, Totally Awesome. It's like 20 minutes of his parts. It's the only thing you need to watch. Fuck the rest of the movie. Like, I think I tried to watch it. And I was just like, the fuck am I doing? Like, he's not even.
I've seen the funny parts.
Oh, you see?
No.
Oh, yeah. No, like you don't need to watch the actual. White
I know what
people.
I'm doing tonight.
Put it on that big ass screen over there. All of you, you're dying. You'll be dying.
All right.
You ever see? You know what's another part? But it just remind me, not that. Due Date. You ever watch Due Date?
Yeah, Rob Dunn.
Yeah.
Yo, when he fucking spits in that dog's face. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yo, I remember watching the trailer. I didn't even need to see the movie. I was like, I'm done. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He just spits in the... And I remember I would watch that with... That's my go-to movie. Now, like, people have, like, a go-to movie when, like, you don't know what the fuck you want to do or, like, watch. I put that movie on, and even Benny knows it by now. And Benny's like, Daddy, put the movie on. The guy spits in the dog's face. And I'm like, all right. Because that fucking part... And he gets in the car and, what's his name?
Zach
No.
Rob Dunn Jr.
Nope. The black guy.
Fox.
Jamie Foxx is like, did you just spit in that dog's face? You are in a bad place. You have to apologize.
Oh, yeah, it's when he's in the back of the pickup.
Yeah,
truck.
and he's like, yo, hit that, whatever it is.
Is there any more sewers?
Yeah. That's the funniest shit ever. When he spits in that dog's face, I lost it. Because, like, wait, this is enough. I know we're completely, this is not what we're supposed to be talking about. I ruined this whole show. But when you,
It's a show you talk about.
well, whatever. You know what I'm saying. I ruined this whole shit. I always wonder when you watch like a bad movie, right? Like you watching a movie and you're like, the fuck am I watching? You had
Ascending.
okay, perfect, and that was a major motion picture, right? You have to approach. You have to write a screenplay. You have to come up with whatever. Then you have to sit in a room full of rich Jewish people, right? And I'm not saying that like negative or like race, like anything, but the movie industry is like, whatever. Yeah. So you got to sit there and you have to bring this to their attention and then get funding. How the fuck do these movies get made?
Dude,
how the fuck I can't buy a house?
Here's the same
but
thing.
These motherfuckers can make Sharknado. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't get a loan for a house. I got the money down. I can't get a loan, but I can watch Sharknado. That is like, they sat in a room and they're like, we're going to make a movie where sharks come into Manhattan. And they're like, yeah, no, that sounds great. Here's $300,000 or whatever.
This is what we were talking about. Me and Chris were talking about this over the weekend. We were sitting here watching TV. I don't watch a whole lot of TV. And I'm like, dude, some of these commercials are so bad, I'm offended by them.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck do people literally, like, they sit in a room, these ad execs are like, yeah, this is a great commercial. Let's run with it.
Yeah, this is going to sell your product. Meanwhile, I think commercials more now
make me not want to buy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we were saying.
I will buy less things because of commercials.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't...
The idea that me and him came up with too, I was like, dude, I wish there was a real-time feedback button on these things where I could be like, you know what, like almost like Facebook.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where
Facebook doesn't have the down button. You got to hit down. Like,
I could dislike this.
Down.
I could dislike this ad and be like, you guys fucking suck, and I'm not buying your product because this commercial is so fucking terrible. Fuck you. Like, I wish that
everyone. I just want to hit. You know what's another thing that drives me crazy? Commercials are so much louder.
Yeah.
Than what you're watching.
Yep.
So, like, I'm watching TV, like, with the kids and shit. I'm laying there, TV's on, quiet, and all of a sudden a commercial comes on, and it's fucking 10 numbers higher than what I'm like, I gotta quickly lower it, and then my show comes back on, or whatever I'm watching, and I can't hear it. So I'm going up and down, it sucks.
Well, it's all plot.
We gotta call it quits. What are we at? We're almost at 3 hours, aren't we?
No, 3 hours?
2:20.
2:20? Alright. Well,
yeah, I've had enough.
We gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, we're sick of you too.
We gotta. This is where the commercial rolls in 10 decibels higher right now.
Yeah.
But
thank you for watching,
Steve. Man, thanks for coming on, dude.
Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't talk about what we were supposed to talk about.
This was awesome.
That's the whole point of this, man. There's no. We could talk.
I thought it was gonna be more like Joe Rogan. You guys are gonna be in here high, and like I thought it was gonna be like skulls on the walls, or like.
I got pretty drunk.
You did?
I mean, I'm not really drunk, but I feel alright.
Your eyes are red as fuck.
I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wake up early.
I slept like I got knocked out last night. I slept like a baby. I was kidding. It was the best sleep I had in forever.
I gotta shock my nuts before I go to bed.
Seriously. I'll call my brother. He'll come here and he'll punch you in your fucking balls, and that's it. You'll sleep. I'm knocking on this thing.
Well, we're sorry we let you down. I didn't.
No,
we'll get some skulls for next time.
No, I don't. I think I listened to it, but I watched today. Action Bronson was on there.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was from weeks or months ago, but I watched that this morning while I was getting dressed. I thought it was funny. I like Action Bronson. Fuck That's Delicious. I don't listen to his music that much.
I like his show.
It's the best show on that channel.
That's on Vice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I would love to do. Imagine just traveling around eating whatever the fuck you want like that.
Better be keto.
I like. What you said?
Better be ketogenic, bro.
Skank us on the keto diet.
Sort of.
I know. I heard you guys. I was gonna ask you about that because I heard you guys talk about it, but I can't follow anything like that, so I wasn't even gonna waste it.
Yeah, it's super simple. But
eat steak and avocado.
But I'm vegetarian, so I couldn't even. I would just be eating
lots
nothing.
of avocado.
Oh, you would
I
die
love
then.
Avocado and spinach and eggs. You do eggs?
I don't, but if I'll have mayo, and I know eggs are in mayo, so like I'm not like that crazy with eggs. I won't like make eggs, but if it's in mayo or like something, I'll fucking eat it because I'm not like that.
Honestly, the main thing I follow is the no sugar, like no added
the
sugar.
Fuck you, what are you drinking then?
It's whiskey. There's no sugar in whiskey, right?
Do we know that for sure?
I don't know.
There is. There has to. No, there's not.
I feel good.
I don't even know what they make. What alcohol is made of.
It's
the mash.
It's low. Yeah, it's low. Well, because the sugar is turned into alcohol. That's what makes it alcoholic.
Oh, but alcohol doesn't turn into sugar?
The bacteria in any kind of brewing process feeds on the sugar in it, and that's what makes it into alcohol.
Whatever.
So I'm not gonna stop drinking.
Yeah, no, that's like
yeah. Who does that?
All right, so Steve, what's up? Plug
Instagram,
your Instagram,
Facebook.
plug your tattoo.
Lotus Tattoo in Sayville. My Instagram is Steve Zaza LT, I think. I'm not really sure. There might be underscores in there or something. I don't know.
I'll fix it in the intro.
We'll take it.
You got. I mean,
We'll get it down for you.
Whoever listening probably knows who I am anyway. So
That's true.
not to be like a dick, but
No, I see. Way to demean the podcast like we don't know anybody else. No, I get it.
no, I hope. I'm famous, motherfucker. What do you mean? I'm blowing
Zac
myself.
Efron.
Zac Efron.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We might get
Wait till next summer when I'm in his movies because of this podcast.
We might get 100,000 followers into this.
You know what? I watched that movie, and I know I'm prolonging this, and I'm sorry, but that movie that he made where he was a DJ, did you watch that movie?
We Are Your Friends. I've been wanting to watch it. It's on HBO on demand.
Watch it, bro.
I didn't watch
Fucking
it yet.
awesome.
Is it?
Yo, I'm not even kidding. I was like, I'm going to put this movie on and fall asleep. Fucking loved it.
Oh, dude.
He was awesome in Neighbors.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, he was like
Awesome.
a dick in Neighbors.
Yeah.
He was like he reminded me
The
of
Robert De Niro scene.
he
that they did?
reminded me of Gerard
That was
Molito in Neighbors.
You know Gerard better than I do, so I don't know if I don't know. I know Gerard, but I don't know Gerard.
I love Gerard. He's one of my oldest, dearest friends, but like a drunk college dick cocksucker. That's what he was.
Honestly,
That
when you
should've
said
been
Gerard Leto, I thought Jared
Jared Leto.
Leto, and you were saying it wrong.
No, Gerard, our friend. Yeah, no.
You need to preface that with all due respect. And then
Gerard knows I love. I don't need to do that
with
for
all due
Gerard.
respect.
Well, you know what?
biggest
Gerard went from
cocksucker.
Gerard to Jerry. So I'm going to call him Gerard because Jerry was when he cleaned up his act.
Oh, so Gerard's his like alter ego?
Well, Jerry is his alter ego,
Oh.
but Gerard was Gerard. Gerard and Jerry, they're the same. They're like plaid pants, like like the plaid shorts with like a
Vineyard
pink.
Pines.
Yeah,
Right.
flip flops that come off when they get drunk. When he gets drunk, and then he acts like a complete dick.
Yeah, flip flops are not for drunk people.
No, they're not.
I don't think flip flops should ever be worn.
We're gonna end on that.
All right. I mean, you guys are fighters. You can't fight in flip flops.
That's
You guys kick them off. You kick them off.
I'll tell you that
Well,
story.
you guys are used to fighting no shoes
I'll
on.
tell you that story off the air about the flip flops.
I never wore flip flops until I was like probably 30, and I'm real into it now. I don't.
I
Wear
just can't
shoes
get
in the
into it
summer.
though. But I have like
hate
caveman
wearing
feet
shoes.
too, so I don't
So
want
do
to
I.
let
My
those
feet
bitches
are
out.
my feet are disgusting.
I have several hilarious stories about Andre. You remember Andre?
Of course, I love Andre.
Back in the day, Andre was a fucking hot and we would go out places. If we were gonna go out drinking, I'd be like, Andre,
Put
tonight.
your sneakers on. Don't.
No,
wear
I
flip-flops.
tell Andre to wear flip flops.
So he wouldn't.
Start a fight.
Oh,
Like,
see,
you're not
I was
fighting,
right.
you're fucking
See, I
flip-flops.
was right,
So I'm like,
though.
Dre, tonight you wear
fucking
flip
knew it.
flops so we don't go out and get into goddamn fights.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Flip flops.
We got the brawl at Sorensen's. I was barefoot for, and I remember I had rocks in my feet for days.
Yeah.
was
No,
awful.
I can't.
What the fuck is Sorensen's? I don't even know what
My
that
buddy
is.
Dave Sorensen. There was a,
Oh, was that a house?
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a
there
bar.
was one of the biggest fights I've ever seen in my life. Was
Really?
in his cul-de-sac.